to war then.
Feel what I've begun.
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
All right, we're back.
That was awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
Episode 2. They didn't title this episode either, I believe, yet. When I was looking,
It didn't?
when I had played it, no. Which is
It's.
Did they finally title it post episode?
That was last week too. I know as we started watching it, just said pilot, or it was like episode 1.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, as always, welcome to the House of the Dragon stream, episode 2, season 2, episode 2. As always, please hit that like and subscribe button for all future streams. We're going to be going live after every episode this season. And just so everybody knows, we're not going to do spoilers first. We'll talk non-spoilers for both the show and the book, and then once everybody's ready, we'll lead into spoilers. So we'll give everybody some time. Sound good?
Yep.
Good.
Awesome. All right. So this episode, to just recap the last episode, A Son for a Son, we basically had our blood and cheese moment, which was a little bit lackluster for most people that I've seen. I don't even think anybody on this panel was really a fan of it that has read the book. Blue Collar, you're new addition to this. You're a special guest today. What did you think of the first episode?
Very good, and we keep making jokes about the budget. Like, boy, Acolyte blows 180 million. This show blows half the budget, twice the length, and the CGI is fantastic on the dragons.
Amen.
Yeah, I was, and there's a scene in this episode where there's a dragon flying by a castle, and my husband turns to me and he goes, "Do you remember when we used to just go to a castle and film on like an actual castle built instead of a CGI castle?" So as Son for a Son, we had Daemon request Aemond because that's what Rhaenyra requested after grieving over the loss of her son. And it turned out that Blood and Cheese, instead of finding Aemon and going for Aemon, they go for Jaehaerys, which is Aegon's firstborn, and cuts off the kid's head at the end. So, and kicks a dog. Anna kicks a dog, which I think was worse for everybody.
Yeah, why'd he kick the dog, man?
Well, here we go. Dog's okay. That's the most important thing.
Sure that.
That's true. It's like they hurt an animal. It's like I was like thinking of the girl with the dragon tattoo, and they kill a cat. And you're like, oh my god.
Children are okay, but animals are not apparently in our universe. But okay, let's ride this timeline. I will share the episode once we get into the spoiler territory. But what is everybody's first thoughts? Non-spoiler. Go, Lady B. Let's start with you.
Oh god. You know what? I wasn't feeling good, so I changed my avatar. And this is Gerald Dane from Game of Thrones, some great fan art. And I had to put it there because I need some high tea. Like, these guys, this episode, so disappointing. Like, I'm waiting for something to happen. And honestly, I was just like, this is like an hour and what was it, like 20 minutes or something like
73 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what happened? It's slow. It's slow.
Okay. Blue Collar.
I liked it. We'll get into it. I was very impressed by Otto, and of course, Rhys Fiennes is a terrific actor, and we get some good Daemon and Rhaenyra moments, which I did like. And we don't get too much dragons, but enough where I was happy.
Austin.
I really liked it a lot, especially towards the end. That last 5-10 minutes, I actually sat up and sat on the edge of the couch because I was very, very interested in what the heck was going on. I actually like this one a lot more than the first one, but I am super curious to talk more spoiler stuff later on.
Nick, how about you?
Yeah, definitely. I liked it more than the first episode. Definitely slow though. I can agree with Lady B there. Obviously, figuring what they were going to include from the book, I kind of knew what to expect, but obviously it's always like, what are they going to change, sort of thing. But definitely enjoyed more the, let's say, like the last quarter of the episode a lot more than the rest. Like Blue Collar said, we got some great acting, great moments between some of our main characters. So it was definitely more on the dramatic side of things than action and like CGI effects with this episode in particular. So, and we further hate Kristen Cole, so that is the also main thing here. He's a little
Yeah,
bitch.
That's
Down
my
with-
one non-spoiler point. Kristen Cole's a little bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my
What about
goodness.
you, my guy?
That's off of my non-spoiler.
Man, y'all need to lay off my boy Kristen Cole. All right, he's the king.
Put him in his
maker, all right?
place, then. All right.
God.
All right, man, he's slaying out there. But I really enjoyed the episode. I really did. I like the dynamics that's going on with a lot of the characters. I like what was going on with because you can see Aegon, trying to like put on that front, and then you get that at the end of the episode with him breaking down. I really enjoyed that. I was just waiting. I was waiting for the twins at the end, and I like what they did with it. That was my favorite part of the episode. I really enjoyed it. I liked it way more than the first one. I don't think it was slow. I think it was exactly what it needed to be. Like, this is the second episode. It's like right. I feel like the third episode, it really has to jump in though. Like, it has to jump in on the third episode. But I enjoyed it. We'll talk more about it.
Sammy.
Yeah, did
Massive point.
anyone say that they hated Kristen Cole? Because I
Everybody
hate.
did.
If you're not, I don't know what's wrong.
I guess I'm the
Like,
only
I-
Kristen Cole fan out here.
I have not.
I-
You really are. I've not met another one. But go ahead, Sammy. Sorry.
No worries. I'd be more interested to hear why he likes this despicable character at the moment. I mean, he's just dropping honor any second he gets to turn his back from the oath he made. But other than that,
Oof.
I was expecting this episode to be a lot more explosive. I said last episode, like, hey, the setup's here for the war. Let's see some war. You know what? There were a lot of political moves, even though it was a slow episode, that I thoroughly agreed with. And I didn't go away like shaking my head like, what were they thinking? I was like, okay, a little bit more setup, but still, all in all, I thought it was a good episode. I was intrigued by things that are coming down the line, but really want to see some some action here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I do have Lady B. I hope you can stay around at least for non-spoiler point of view, because I have
Oh,
questions
yeah.
about the twins, because I feel that the twins were, in a sense, set up, because again, I haven't read the book, but I feel the twins were set up similar to Blood and Cheese, like the similar hype to what happens between the two of them, and I felt it was very lackluster in this episode. Like, and I feel like a waste of a good actor and a waste of a good character. I don't know.
I agree. I kind of like just the whole mechanics of how that played out. Like, it seemed like less tragic than it was.
I liked it. I really liked it.
It's not what I imagined how it would happen based on what we know from it in the book.
Which I'm
Hmm.
curious to hear about later on. To see
Yeah.
how different that was. Because
Well, there is a poll
I
going
actually
on.
do know a little bit of this.
Oh, did you read it?
Oh,
twins.
no. I in order to not get disappointed like I did with Game of Thrones, I decided that I would read it afterwards. But I am aware of this just from looking at like lore videos and stuff like this. It's just come up, just something I've been aware of in the past. So like I was kind of wanting to see how they were going to do this, and it wasn't what I expected. It definitely wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I thought
curious
there
now.
would be. I didn't think he would be out in episode 2, but we'll get into spoilers. There is a poll going on the YouTube channel. Who you thought won this round in this episode? There will be a poll every time. We have Team Black, Team Green, and then we also have option 3, which is Kristen Cole's a little bitch. So choose wisely. Choose what you would like.
I got to change my
We've
answer.
got 47 watching right now. 41 of those is over at Twitter or X. So please come over to the YouTube channel, give us a like, subscribe, chat with us over here. I guess we should kind of dive into spoiler territory, right? There's not really much to say unless we want to dive into it, unless anybody has an additional point they want to make before we get there. 'Cause I
Oh, I
feel
had a
like
question.
we're
Like, I was like, when I watched it the first time, like I always watch the after episode things. Are they doing that this time around?
They are.
They
They
are.
are,
Yes.
but I I said we're not obligated to watch it. Because
Oh,
it's
I
the
was
same
just
time.
curious, like, because it's not like auto playing for me like it was before.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like the
I
last.
always skip everything and then I fast forward through the credits so I can sneak it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch
Oh.
the preview and then the little like inside the episode thing. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
can't.
I like
You guys
watching it. I got in some arguments with my friends because they're like, "Oh, they didn't mean this or that," and then I'm like, "Well, here's what they said at the end of it," so it clarifies things. But yeah,
Touche.
I won't watch the preview because I just similar to almost like trailers, they give away a lot. So I kind of
Yeah.
want to be surprised.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just sent everybody something in the chat, our little group chat. So that's for you guys for later. All right. Well, this is a warning for anybody watching. We are going to get into spoiler territories. Spoilers are ahead. So please, we'll give it 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What a little bitch Kristen Cole is, right? Let me pull up this episode.
Oh,
Can I say something? Like, if you haven't read the books, this is applicable, right? You all remember how like Jaime Lannister was like the absolute worst Kingsguard ever. Like, this was the worst man ever. Like, you could be as a Kingsguard. I'm like, and then we have Christian Cole. I mean, come on, this guy.
I
Who's the
somehow
worst?
found a way to hate him more.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because I hate him a lot.
You gotta
Who's the
defend
worst
your boy.
Kingsguard?
You gotta defend your boy, Kaida. Come on.
Zero honor.
Why?
I like Kristen Cole because he's so complicated, man. You can tell that he, you know, you can tell that, you know, you got to remember he's coming from low standing, all right? He's not like the rest of these people that's had it all handed to him. He had to work for a lot. So he didn't really know exactly what to do with everything that was given to him, you know what I mean? So you got to cut him some slack, all right? You can tell he's hurt. His honor is hurt, all right? You can tell.
I think
What
I hate
honor?
Kristen more than Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jamie finds redemption in some way, whereas
I can't see this little bitch. I'm sorry, I keep calling him a bitch. I cannot see him having a redemption arc, and I cannot see. He might in the books, but I can't see him flipping
No, he doesn't.
to any side. Like I feel like he is just.
he simps way too hard.
His
That's
side is
one
the
thing.
simp. Like
That's
Yeah.
one thing that's brand new. Like, cause I read the book and it's like, well, he's not like that in the book. He's not like simping, you know. He's a man of action kind of thing, you know. But he's still a man of action here, all right. Even though he's a little much, all right. He's still
he's
a man
a
of
butthole.
Yeah,
action. Hey man, hey, like they say,
Yes,
you
he
are
does
what you eat,
nothing.
man. Him and Allison, he gets it in.
Yeah.
literally.
Well, this episode opens with the aftermath of what happened to Jaehaerys in the last episode with his head being cut off, which all the blood and them rounding up everybody in the castle and basically trying to find out who did this. And what I like about this opening is they automatically blame Rhaenyra, right? Aegon just goes straight to it but they actually don't know. Like we know as the audience that this was a misunderstanding by Damien, but they shouldn't know. They automatically blame it instead of thinking there's another enemy in the castle.
who else is their enemy? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
who
yes,
else would go to that length to do something like that? You know, it's kind of like you know.
And I wish
deductive
YouTube
reasoning.
lit their dark scenes a lot better. I really do, because it
Oh
is
my God,
super
yeah.
dark in this scene.
I really loved how just angry he was that he was destroying that entire model and just
Yeah,
I
I
love
like
that kinda
emotion.
But like
that declaration of
his
war.
dad, like spent a lot of time on that shit though. I mean,
Yeah,
that's kind
he
of like
spent years of his life doing that. He
Yeah.
just destroyed it, and then they just get rid of it. I like that. I like this part coming up with Aemon. I really do.
Well, I think that was, you know, obvious symbolism. It was like,
yeah.
you know, it took Viserys his entire life to build that model, and in seconds, this impetuous little turd comes in with a sword. And he wants to knock it all down. And he wants to knock it all down, not because he's thinking like a king, because he's doing it out of vengeance.
Well, I
True.
think that's the difference between him and his father. When his father suffered a tragedy of losing his wife and child, he kind of reclused to himself, building this miniature, was softer about it, where Aemond was all anger, destroying this thing, taking out vengeance on anything that comes in his way. So
Yeah,
I
but
like the
Aemon didn't
contrast of
kill
the
his
two.
wife either.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
forgot that. Like in episode 3, he's like, "I murdered my wife." I was like, "Oh, okay." I forgot he
In a
said
matter
that.
of speaking, yeah.
Dawn here with this green
Tom
propaganda.
boy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the real king. All right, shout
Yeah.
out to the true king.
I'm with you, Flash.
Fine,
It
good
like
guys, man.
Aegon had the
No.
high tea this episode.
Yeah. Who had the Aegon?
Yeah.
Is it high tea or is it just adolescent puberty?
I-
just like
I don't know.
how old is he
like,
supposed
No,
to be here?
the
anyway?
twins had the highest of tea in this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Because they were obviously ready to die, right? Well, Aegon's not ready to die because he's a little
No.
bitch.
No, they both were honor bound and they both did their duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them literally self-sacrificed like a samurai, right? Like, you think Aegon
Yeah.
would do that?
I forget, like,
Scared.
I watched all of Shogun. That is not how you do that. I don't even know. Like, how would you like? Is that
Well.
even possible to turn your sword around so you could fall on it if you're wearing that armor? I have
He put
questions.
it underneath.
Yeah,
So
I-
underneath and
He
like
ki- it
use
looks
the
like he kind of had it
feathers.
angled under the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's like under the plate, but like it's supposed to be close fitting. I don't know.
Little bit of that Westeros Senpaku.
Yeah, to my
Shout out
knowledge,
Chris Nicole.
Aegon's in his 20s. We don't know exact age, but he's definitely not a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
they're like young men essentially
Yeah.
at this point.
I'm with you on this. With this being one of the best scenes in it, his like finding the coin and doing the investigation of it.
Mhm.
And it's weird to me that we don't see Aemon with his family at all throughout this entire episode, really mourning with the loss of his nephew, because in a sense, kind of realistically, it's his fault, right? Because they were looking for him, they couldn't find him, so they
I'm
decided
trying to figure
go
out how did they
king.
figure out they were looking for Aemond?
Well,
They-
right there.
They told him,
Yeah.
and they
What's-
yeah.
Well, once you get to what's blood, he confesses.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
said that. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
said
remember.
right away. My boy started snitching immediately. You're like,
I know.
I know
Oh,
he didn't
yeah.
know. I was like, hey, I
He
didn't do
been whacked
anything.
real quick in the Sopranos. You kidding me?
Yeah, what happened to fuck the high towers?
Yeah.
Yeah, he folded quick.
Tough guy.
Well, you could also
Yeah.
maybe say that Aemond is distant because this whole thing is kind of his fault because this is a revenge for what you did to Luke.
Yeah.
mhm.
That's why this
Yeah.
happened for.
But he even says he regrets that. I think he's just
Which I
Yeah.
said
one of
last
those.
week.
Yeah, and he reiterates it tonight. I think he's like one of those men of action. Why everybody grieves, he will grieve after he gets to the bottom of things. You know what I mean? He's looking around. He's definitely one of the brighter minds in the castle. He's by far the most what's the fiercest force they have.
Yeah.
You know, on Team Green. So like he's the man right now. So he's doing men's work right here.
Or I have a third option. Like I really think that Aemond is supposed to be like a foil for Daemon. So
Mhm.
he's really
Oh,
kind of
100%.
like they really mirror what they're doing. And I'll give the show that. Like they really do try to draw the parallels. Like he's trying to do stuff. He's trying to figure out things. He's taking action, and so is Daemon. But they all kind of get cocked in the end.
Did anybody in this scene feel like Otto just did not care that he just lost his grandson?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
But that
Like-
I feel like that's more in line with his character though. Like he sees them as chess pieces. You know, he's trying to
Mhm.
gain more power. So even though he sees it as a tragedy, he's like his first instinct is, okay, how can I use this for my advantage type thing.
Where's the damage control? What's the PR? What should we do to
Mhm.
maintain the perception of the realm and to be strong as Team Green? And obviously no one likes his plan, but it seemingly works to their advantage, which is then unfoiled by Aegon's actions later on.
Yeah, it's always the problem when you're being a politician. It's like, he's got to sacrifice right now being a grandfather versus he's still the hand of the king. And that's what Damon went through with Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra, yes, you are grieving. Yes, you're a mother, but you're still the queen. So it's like, while the mother grieves, the queen is shirking her duties. Otto doesn't have, you could say, time to grieve because he's still essentially like the vice president right now.
Yeah.
I will say I appreciate HBO writers not giving the line after Jaehaerys was dead saying, "Oh, but Helena's young enough to continue the line." Like I was expecting that in some way to come out of Otto's mouth or one of their mouths saying, "Well, she's young enough to have another son. Like she's young enough to bear another child."
She had
and
another
really
kid in the book. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
Yeah, I don't know where he is.
but I appreciate that they didn't use that trope in this writing for this episode here. Like they just literally allowed Helena to grieve throughout this whole entire episode instead of just saying, well, you know, one son's dead, she could always have another one. That usually is a very common trope.
Don't we see them both?
Shows.
Don't we see that her
I don't think that they've shown the
we just
third
see
kid.
the
Yeah,
other,
they didn't
we
show
see
the
the
other
other
kid,
kid.
no.
But I think
It's
she
the
came
other
across.
daughter.
We were talking about it last episode. Way less autistic in this.
Well-
Just like what we were going with. You know, we thought she was in shock and everything. And that one scene on the staircase, I thought that emotion transfer, even though no lines were spoken, I thought that was very well done. You know, she just looks in over her head and absolutely mortified at what she just saw, and every emotion that she did display, I thought it was well acted. I honestly think last week it was just poor pacing and in that scene.
Yeah, but she's still going like, I don't want to go out. I don't know these people. Like I wish.
I mean, if my child just died, I wouldn't want to go out. I would
understand that. I understand the not wanting to go out, but the way that she acts and stuff, it's just it bothers me.
It kind of seems like she had like a panic attack too,
Mm-hmm.
and she was trying to just escape. But I mean, when your kid's head gets chopped off, that's pretty deep,
especially right in front of you too.
Yeah, but like also, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I also like the fact that Alicent is in a very state of like repent, my sin throughout this whole thing, and nobody acknowledges it. Nobody cares. Her dad's like, he probably knows already what her sin is, but he just doesn't want to discuss it. Like as the hand.
Yeah, what was that all about? Like, what's she going on about that? Like,
I think that's her sleeping with Kristen Cole. Yeah, I think that's what her sin is.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's why she starts slapping him and like pushing him at the end, where she hates being in this position, and it's almost like he is putting her there literally because he really has no place to be in her room, but yet he does so anyway because he's on this little power trip now because he's gotten a promotion to be hand, and so he thinks that gives him an even more clout to be chasing Alicent as queen, which she falls right into his little simp trap again. And so it's like now she's still in this cycle of sin and guilt, and her father's just like, I really don't care. Like, I mean, I'm still your father, but I'm not the hand anymore. So what is it you really want me to do? I can't go up to Aegon. I can't go up to Cole and say anything. So he's just like, peace out. I'm going to go to, where'd she say? Highlands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is where he goes to next. With the Tyrells that are wavering.
Yeah. I will say I do not feel sorry for her at all throughout this entire episode.
I don't either. It's like, wasn't she like kind of trying to get him to come into her bath or something? And
yes,
that's what it seemed like.
Mm-hmm. Also, quick question to the guys here: has that ever worked for you when a girl pushes you 3 times and then slaps you in the face? You just grab her up by the neck, push her against the wall, and then you just start kissing like that? No, I don't think that's ever happened to me before.
I can't think of a time now.
No,
there's that old adage: "Don't stick your dick in crazy."
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding.
By the way, this entire episode, when I'm looking at Rhaenyra, all I can think of between Lady B and Dawn was like, where's our fat Rhaenyra? Like, I want our pudgy Rhaenyra because she's like, she's very thin, her collarbones. I'm like, where's the pudgy Rhaenyra we were promised, I guess.
I kind of wish they would show it. Like, it's just kind of like, it's realistic. It's like she's had 6 kids. It's like, let women be women.
Mm-hmm.
She's been under a lot of stress, so like she literally just like lost all the weight,
Yeah, I guess.
But so we have Otto and Alicent meeting after Jaehaerys
George,
is
what are you
found
doing?
dead. I guess he's not found dead. I guess he's just found
George.
headless. Well, I guess that's dead too. While they're rounding up all the servants and stuff, discussing, what would be the next steps. Alicent is wavering in her grief because the night that it happens, Christian Cole was with her instead of protecting her daughter. And I like the line in this where she's like, Jaharis is dead. His suffering has ended, but what they've done to my daughter, which, I thought that was a very interesting line to throw in. I don't know in the books if she's very close to Helena.
I mean, they don't really say like who's close to who.
It's like
in
a
it.
textbook. Yeah.
There's no like dialogue between
Yeah.
mother and daughter as to like insinuate that they're extremely like tight, unfortunately. But
I did like
the only thing I would
Sorry.
the only thing I would say that in the books it kind of gives it is the fact that during the actual Blood and Cheese, doesn't Helena bring the kids to kiss grandma goodnight almost every night?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's not like she is in the show where she's just whatever autistic or whatever they're trying to make her as. She's like a normal. She's quite a loving mother and stuff. So, George.
Kaida, do you want to answer this? I haven't watched this yet. How's your Eamon? I mean, this is your boy.
Well, you know what? He was really showing it off right there when he was in the room, when he was doing his investigation. But then the other time we saw him, it was kind of tucked in between, some bags. So we're gonna have to wait till next
They look like
episode.
old Roz. Like, remember Roz from Game of Thrones?
yeah,
Man, I love Roz.
I thought that's who, bro. That threw me off for a second. I was like, that she
Old
looks so
Roz.
familiar.
I did like the scene before all of this. It was in the very beginning where they're rounding up all the servants and putting them into the main hall, and it really gives you like a perspective like on how many people on a day-to-day basis are in this castle, and like what keeps it up and running. So just why the Kingsguard is like truly needed, and because it could have been any one of those people. I mean, we all know it was Blood and Cheese, but like they have no idea. So like all these people are just getting kicked out of their beds and just thrown into the main hall, and it's just chaos. And I enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah, I thought they were going to kill everybody, or
So did I.
at least do something to everybody in a sense of taking blame for themselves, which I think is what Kristen Cole is projecting here in this entire episode. Instead of actually taking blame for being dishonorable, for not protecting the royal family, especially the way he acts with the twin. Not like
Yeah, I can't wait.
I was like,
Oh.
Can't wait.
I was
till
like,
we get
you're
there.
such like, just admit it, man. Just admit it in yourself that, hey, I was, I was supposed to be there to protect. I didn't, or I don't know.
There should be 7 Kingsguard people, right? Like, there's one with Aegon, usually one with the Queen, one with like Alicent.
Yeah, remember they're split up right now.
Yeah, they usually go with everyone.
Yeah, they're split up right now though, because remember the Kingsguard split. Some went with Rhaenyra, some stayed here. They didn't show that they ever replenished the rest of the Kingsguard. I don't think.
Interesting.
hey, where was Kristen when Blood and Cheese were entering the room?
Well,
Doing
he even tells Aegon right there. He's like, I was abed with the Queen.
No, he said I was the bed, not with the Queen.
Oh, he says I was
banging your mom.
Yeah.
I was banging your mom.
That would have been all right. I would have had a lot more respect for him if he did say that.
Yeah, just show some. Like, don't literally show your balls, but like just show some balls. Like you like, my lord, I was banging your mother.
Yeah.
Oh shit, really? You get hand right now, my guy.
Yeah.
Is,
you up.
is Aegon this immature?
In the book?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
don't
yeah,
Really get
I mean,
a lot of
I don't
dialogue,
know,
but a
like,
little bit.
I wouldn't say this bad. I mean,
it gets worse though. I won't say anything, but it gets worse.
How
but
worse?
the one that should be acting like this too is Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, she's very calm. Even throughout this episode, even finding out what happened, there's almost like a calmness throughout her. I don't know.
Well, she's had that tutelage from her father her whole life, which Aemon did not get. So like
Mhm.
she takes this all in stride because she's had years and years and years of watching her father try and help her lead by example. So that is a weapon in her arsenal that Team Green does not have.
I will say, if I had to go back to the source, just for the show, not for the book, Lady B, please let me talk.
Go for it. I'm not going to interrupt you.
No, I know Lady B, but in the book, but for the show, just for perspective of the show, the one person I would blame for all of this is Viserys, because Viserys did not put his foot down on Rhaenyra being his heir.
Yeah.
Because even after he announced it throughout the first season, there was a lot of wishy-washy, wavy back and forth, like, oh, should I renounce it, make Aegon, like back and forth, instead of just like putting his foot down with Otto and saying, nope, my daughter is going to be the heir.
Well,
Put it in writing or
I
something.
think he did do that though.
Yeah.
It was
But
the
there's a couple
which
of episodes.
I
There's
think
the
it was only
hunting
one
episode.
Yeah,
where
that one where he was like he
wavering.
doesn't.
No.
Mhm.
He made them all swear loyalty to them and then didn't say another thing about it for 20 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
I
when he
feel
was
like-
getting all like on in age, he should have called all the like leaders of the houses back in and go re-swear, because like I'm not going to be here much longer. These are my intentions. If someone comes in after I'm dead and says I want this, that's not what I want. I want this.
Well, what
I
messes
think
up
it's
with
also
Lieutenant-
a
sorry.
Forgot about that.
So I'll just say I think it's I don't disagree that Jaehaerys Viserys was the issue, but I think Alicent was ultimately responsible because while he was on his deathbed in his last dying breaths, he thought it was his daughter that was bedside, not Alicent. And when she
Exactly.
said, "Oh, the prince who was promised," do you think Alicent knew who the fuck he was talking about? Hell no.
You're
But
right.
Rhaenyra does, because he taught her when she was a child and actually showed her the dagger, right? So in which then Alicent used said dagger against her, which was I always thought was ironic, but ultimately what Alicent could have done to prevent a lot of this from happening was say, hey, so your dad died, but also he said these words to me. Do you know what they mean? And she could have been like, yeah, I know exactly what that means, because he told me that when he also said I was the heir to the throne. But she was acting all shady because that's what Team Green does. They act
trust
shady.
them.
Trying to put
Yeah.
the rifle
Hey,
king
yeah,
with-
I like where you're going with that, Nick.
Rest. Case closed. Let's go. Boom.
rifle
But like,
king
how
on
come
the
like
throne.
Rhaenyra didn't do anything to like shore up her own power? Like, she could have been making alliances with people. She could have been making friends. She could have been rounding up a freaking posse.
For
Well,
sure.
That was the whole point of
But
season
she
two.
does
Well-
nothing. She's like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
She was
that's
in
a season
labor
two.
at the time.
Yeah, so
But yeah, beforehand, absolutely.
Like, she had years and years and years to like. I mean, like, my favorite thing to do when I look at this is like look at like someone. You're dealing with people that are like, okay, we're so oppressed by the patriarchy. What are we going to do? And this is something they say a whole bunch of times. And then like look at somebody like Cersei. Like, she's forced to marry this horrible person who's like nasty, total like ladies man, like cheats on her, all that crap, but she cheats on him too. But she actually starts going out
with her brother.
Yeah, with her brother, the
It's
Kingsguard
just a-
too, who still somehow looks better than Kristen Cut Cole. So like anyway, yeah.
Oh, I never thought about that.
But
You're
like
right.
she makes like she has her own web of informants. She starts making alliances with people, and like she's way more successful in the show than in the book. And even though like her book and show characters are so different, I don't hate show Cersei. She works for the show, but like that's what Rhaenyra should have been doing. But because she had more of the like personality that Aegon has in the show, she doesn't in the book. She doesn't do anything. She's just sort of like this sort of spoiled child.
Well, just to interrupt, we have 91 people watching.
Woohoo!
We've got
What's up?
79
Thank you.
of them over on Twitter. So if you could please come over to YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to us. We go live after every episode for the season 2 of House of Dragon. So come on over to the conversation. There's a poll on YouTube happening right now too. Show your alliance between Team Black, Team Green, or if Christian Cole's a bitch. So whichever
Go to
one works for you.
YouTube.
Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Okay, let's. Anybody have any additional about this scene before I move us a little bit forward?
No, you
I
can
mean,
do your thing.
It was a kind of good line though. Aegon yells at Kristen. He's like, "Instead of safeguarding the sanctity of my family, well, he was safeguarding your mother."
Yeah.
Touche.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was making sure she was all right.
Yeah,
Take care.
Allison was in
Taking
safe
care.
hands.
I do like Otto. I like his little. I always notice like his facial expressions whenever Aegon says anything. He's always like, "God damn it! Like just shut up." Just
Yeah.
His
like,
facial expressions are
every
great
time
this-
I love
th-
it.
uh,
I
this
love it.
episode.
I was very surprised by Allison Green with her father in this scene. I really thought they were creating the tension between the two in the room, that she was going to go against what Otto had said. But she just went along Green. And I think because she's lost in her own grief and sin and her own like redemption, that she's looking for somebody to tell her that it's okay that she was sleeping with Christian Cole while her grandson was getting murdered.
Yeah, because in some ways it's her fault. Because had Kristen Cole been guarding her grandson would be alive.
Well, what about the other? Like, there's 7 King's Guards. Like, who is supposed to be up there? Like, there should be.
They didn't pay for those actors, okay? Like, they didn't pay those salaries.
Yeah, and even if
Like,
he
there's
was
only
on
2.
duty- even if
There's
he was
some-
on duty, wouldn't he be guarding Aemond?
I don't know. They
No, because they didn't know about the hit put on Aemon by Daemon at that point.
Yeah, but not Aemond. Who's the who's the actual
Aegon?
Aegon? Thank you.
No,
Wouldn't
Aegon's,
the head of the
protected
King's
by
Guard?
the- He's protected by the other twin,
Yeah.
Sir.
Sir
Sir
Eric.
with the
Okay.
A.
They're both named Eric.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Eric.
By the way, I
Hey,
like
Eric.
in the show. There's a Adam, but he's spelled with ADDAM because I have to have subtitles on because I'm old. And I'm like, why can't we just have normal names like, I don't know, Carl, Adam, spelled with 1D, Glenn, like normal.
There
But
are
there's
some
Carl with a
characters
C and a
coming
Carl with a K though.
with some very funny names. I'm not gonna say who they are.
I like Carl, like QARL.
They'll come. QUA.
Oh.
That guy was the
Quarrel.
Night Watch guy.
Coral.
Coral.
Carl.
Coral.
Yeah, Otto looks like he's tired of his grandson's shit.
Oh, for
100%.
sure.
Tired. And poor Lannister over here. He's just
I
like,
know, he's like,
not to get killed.
He's like, oh man, you're really doing this. But you see how he's conniving too. He already knows exactly what he's thinking. As soon as he didn't even have to say it, he already knew because he was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, then blame is again. So in this scene, I get it. Obviously, it would be obvious that your enemy is the one that pulled the hit, but they really don't know yet. They haven't interrogated anybody. They don't, but they're like, you know what? We'll just use it. If it is or if it isn't, it doesn't matter. We'll just use it so we can turn the people in the other houses that are swaying towards us instead of their alliance with Rhaenyra. And I thought. I mean, this is a common political move. Like I was not
move.
surprised.
Mhm.
Not
Smart move.
surprised.
Yeah. I mean,
Is it
Otto-
though? Because Aegon kind of fucks it up at the end.
I mean, but Otto is right though, because he's like, well, I don't want to be seen as weak. He's like, people already see you as being weak, Aegon. That's the point.
Yeah.
My husband goes, "Oh, that's a base grandfather right there." Telling your grandson.
Yeah, this one
He wasn't wrong.
shows how good. I mean, I always say he's no Tywin Lannister. I mean Tywin Lannister is like a once in a generation type of political mind. But
Yeah.
as far as the Game of Thrones as it is in this state, he's by far the only one always playing. He is, even with the depth of his great grandchild, he is. All right, this is the best way to do it. If he could, he'd be having, like televised campaign commercials go. It was like,
It was.
Rhaenyra Targaryen killed a child. Is that who you want to be the leader of the Seven
Queen.
Kingdoms?
One thing, Sammy, because Otto knows, he said that last episode. The thing is with Aegon is, well, we have a more powerful army. Your sister, Rhaenyra, she's got triple the dragons, and you may have one big one, but they have a lot more numbers. And they're
and the best
Mhm.
naval fleet
exactly
in the kingdom.
Yeah,
So,
right now, it's like Aegon, kid, if you want to go to war, understandably so. If you go to war right now, you're going to lose. Simple as that. You are outnumbered, outmatched.
I like over here in this scene too, where he just falls apart and just calls for his mom, just like as a child would. Doesn't know what to do and just goes mother, just looking for her guidance on this. Instead of just being a king and just going by what the hand said, he's like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do. I think this is one of the reasons why he shouldn't be king. No offense, Team Green. All the offense, Team Green.
Really thought his acting was incredible in this episode.
Yeah.
It was
He
good.
did-
Oh yeah,
Him and Emma
Amazing
Darcy they're just Emma Darcy is just, she knocks it out the park, man, every time.
Yeah, man.
Every time. I love it when she's on screen.
Who plays him? I gotta remember. Aegon.
Yeah.
Ty
I
Tennant.
think-
Oh,
or-
isn't that
I think-
David
No.
Tennant's son?
No, that was the younger one. That
The
was
younger one. The younger
That
one.
was
Yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah. Oh, who was the older one? I can't find it.
Let me see.
Anyway.
Where's my mouse?
But it's good dialogue right here where Aegon tells Otto, he's like, when I have my son's body dragged through the streets like he's a dead dog, he goes, not dragged, honored. The messed up part is your son being a martyr will actually, as messed up as it is, do a lot more good than you understand. It's messed up, but he's not wrong.
Tom Glyn Carney is who plays him.
That's
I'm
right.
trying to see if I've seen him in anything else. Oh, he's been in a lot of things.
He was in Dunkirk.
The King as well.
He was
really?
in Dunkirk.
Who is he in Dunkirk though?
Yeah.
He was. It was a small role. I want to know where was he in The King, because I like that movie. I don't remember him in that.
King was a good movie.
Yeah, I fucking love The
enjoyed
King.
that.
I think it was a very underrated movie. I think people just didn't watch it because Timothy Chalamet made whatever.
Alamalay.
He played Henry Hotspur.
I have to rewatch
Must
that.
be a
I don't
small-
remember him in that.
He plays very good, very well for a young actor.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by his performance, especially because, to be honest, the last episode I was not impressed by him. I'm like, all right, they just cast a young guy to play Aegon. I get it, okay, but he like this. I feel just this episode elevated his acting.
Especially that scene when she goes to check in on him and he's just crying
Yes,
at the fireplace.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, he's
Right.
very very like James Dean, just the angst. He's got it going on.
And now we have Helena grieving her son. And I didn't catch it in the first episode that she was sewing this outfit.
Yeah.
That now
Yeah.
they'll actually bury her son in.
Oh, she was. Oh, damn it.
Mhm.
Makes that
How do you not know
worse.
your Team Green, man? How did you not know your house?
He's just ready to jump on Team Black. He just hasn't.
I
admitted
know.
to that.
Come on over to
Makes
the better
so-
side.
Right,
Come
that's
on.
okay, man.
So much more dirty that those dirty blacks did that. Team Blacks. Those dirty Team Blacks. You got to specify here.
I feel she was less. So I know in the book she's not autistic, right? From Lady B.
You don't get that.
She's not. No,
Yeah,
she isn't.
yeah, you don't get that from the book at all.
So why was this a
She
choice in
is
the
autistic?
show?
I don't know, and it reads so weird because it's like you're trying to understand like what's wrong with this chick, like, and I wouldn't have. I mean, she just says things like she doesn't like being around people. She doesn't ever make eye contact with anything. She likes playing with bugs, and it's like this is just weird.
Is it? I would say it's from the inbreeding, but it's not because it's a Hightower and a Targaryen. So it's not like it's two Targaryens that had her that were blood related. Isn't she supposed to be some kind of seer?
Seer.
Not in
dreamer
the
or
book, but
something
they were
like that.
trying to give her like these. I don't know what she has. She doesn't talk about vision. She just says random things that are like forfeit shadowing. So I'm just sort of like, okay, member berries, cool.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work out given what else happens in the book with her character and Aegon, which I will not spoil. But if you know obviously you've read the book, then you kind of know what I'm referring to. But yeah, I think her acting in this episode was better. I think she definitely tried to explicit that she shocked or just felt uncomfortable. Like she was definitely like an introvert, you know, by all the townsfolk kind of reaching out to her, and she's like trying to like crawl up Allison as like to try and get away, but it's like your carriage is stuck, like you can't go anywhere. So
oh my
and
god, when they're shaking that carriage,
Oh,
who
boy.
thought that?
you just think
Oh,
gonna-
my
The head
God.
was gonna pop
So
off.
awesome.
Oh
Is
yeah,
the
I was
I know,
going like,
right?
oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they didn't do that. I just knew they were gonna do that shit.
It was
I
like
was
it's like
like, oh,
I made
wobbling.
the joke before, and I'm like, that would be awkward if they hit a pothole and the head just topples off.
Yeah, that was just like,
What's
oh
gonna
no.
Allison comes to Helena to tell her they've decided that they are going to parade Jaehaerys's body through the streets to show the people what, and blame Rhaenyra, basically call her the defiler. Look what Rhaenyra would do, and they were going to use the women, Helena and Allison, to soften it a little bit to show them grieving as well following Jaehaerys's body, which they sewed that head on pretty well. Not gonna lie,
It was a
yeah,
good
that
job.
looked pretty good.
Barely
that's
noticed
good.
anything, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
like you
here she
mentioned
is.
earlier. Yep, and she's more worried about like about what she saw last night. Like that's what you're concerned about.
Yeah, exactly. This
No.
again, throughout this whole episode, Allison is only worried about Allison and what she has to repent for. She's not
Yeah.
really worried. Like there's that one line where she throws where she's like, what they've done to my daughter, but she's crying. I'm like, why aren't you with your daughter? Why are you here? Shouldn't you be with her if that is your main concern? She's very much pick me girl throughout this
Yeah.
whole episode. And it just makes me
Definitely.
not like Team Green anymore.
I know. Why is
hate
she
it
just
more.
doing that, running around like what? Why? Why does this suddenly bother you? I mean, this is going on for a while now.
Yeah, and I'm sure, honestly, I'm sure everybody knows she's banging Christian Cole, and they just kind of just let it overhead. You know, there's no way you can be that discreet with that many people to be able to walk into your door. Like you don't close you don't lock your bedroom door.
I think because she's been openly caught, it's one thing people know about it versus like now it's been confirmed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've really made her look bad so far,
Yeah.
which is interesting. I wonder if they're gonna show Rhaenyra in a similar light almost, because so far Rhaenyra hasn't really been I don't think vicious in a sense. Like yes, she asked for Aemond, it's in the grief of her son, but I feel like Rhaenyra is only worried about being carrying on her father's legacy, being on the throne, being there for her people and stuff, where Allison is again me.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So, all right. So here we go. We've got the funeral happening, which I thought there was a weird shots of like the petals and the.
It's very
the
paranoid.
slow- Yeah.
Which
High
I
tension.
dug. I mean, but yeah, that's kind of. I think it's playing into. I'm never gonna remember all these names. the queen's her social anxiety about all of this. Like she doesn't like being out amongst the common people.
Yeah.
She doesn't like this. Even though you have this whole kingdom that's essentially mourning from her. For her and her family and her son, it comes across to her as alien and anxiety inducing, and I'm seeing it from her perspective. I think it was pretty cool that they shot it that way.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
the way
this
they're
dude
like
just-
falling on her face.
He just spills it all.
Just gives it up. Just as like
was
he was
hard.
surprised
Oh.
too. He's like, "Oh, I thought we were gonna
Yeah.
torture for a minute here."
Hold
Like,
on.
oh.
Scare tactic, that's all.
We was hired by Damon.
David
I mean,
told
at this
David
point, you
David
have to
David.
know you're not going to be spared. In some
Got
way,
all
you
the
will
muscles
be.
for no reason.
Dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
was
I know.
are you gonna hurt me? It's like, what? Dude,
Yeah.
seriously?
Yeah.
You just severed the head of the heir to the throne. You don't think
You
they're
just
gonna
severed
kill
the
him?
head to a child.
Yeah.
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 Like,
In front of
That's
the
all
mother.
Yeah, he's all panicking and scared. Like you just cut off the head of a 4-year-old. And wait, what? Now you're nervous? Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah,
And
I didn't like the way
he
they
is
did
looking
that.
up for mercy and stuff. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get mercy for cutting off a kid's head, let alone the heir to the throne's head. Like Nick was saying, this is like, come on, my guy. You should have been a lot more faster and sneakier to get out, and the fact that you were caught with the kid's head too on top of it.
Oh man.
Oh,
That's
and
not a good
also,
look.
Damon, if you're gonna like hire contract killers and stuff like that, wear a mask or
Okay,
something.
can we
Through
just
somebody
talk about how
else.
stupid it was
Yeah.
for Damon to go back to King's Landing
Yes.
after what happened? Why the hell did you do that? That does not happen in the books. Okay, in the books, like
Thank
Visaria
God.
does it,
Yeah.
and she has motivation too. She has absolute motivation to start shit between these families. It's like she in the like I get so mad with the Damon being impotent like through line of season 1. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's like in the books, yeah, he does knock her up. Yeah, they were going to get married. Yeah, they flew away to Dragonstone and all that stuff happened. And so she has like a reason to hate both these people and to do something like that. And I'm just like, it makes so much more sense for her to do it. And it's like, this show has a problem with just letting women be evil. And I just want to see that. Let the women be evil.
Because fuck the patriarchy. Lady.
Yeah.
Of course. You know, even though it's a matriarchy, I guess. Going on.
I know it's like the part I lost it when like Damon was like explaining like, oh, the patriarchy is so bad to like Rhaenyra, like I guess season 1, like what?
Yeah, I would love to see because I guess Cersei in Game of Thrones was a pretty good female villain. I mean,
She was.
Yeah.
she did depth to
Definitely
it herself too. Like at the end of the day, she's just doing it for her family. So I just, yeah, I wonder if maybe we're only 2 episodes in. What how many episodes? There's like 8 or
8.
10. 8.
So 2 of
this
8 are all so
season?
far.
Supposed to be 8.
Yeah, there's 6 more left.
Oof.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, skip
Please
that.
something happen.
Yeah,
That was giving me Padme vibes, the way he was riding in the cart. Like the way they kind of like set it up.
Yeah. I could have seen Jar Jar
Even
like
if-
put his head down slowly. Like,
Hey, the true king gets straight to business when he
Most
gets in
awesome.
here. All right, straight
yeah,
to
that's true.
business. I like that he didn't say a word. He just got straight to business. He's like, it's time.
Yep.
well,
I
He didn't need
I am
anything more
upset
out
they
of
didn't
him.
Show it. I'm upset they didn't
bludgeon
show
you.
it though.
yeah, that's been the main subversion of my expectations here. It was like we walk through a whorehouse. I don't see like any boobs.
I know it's like,
Like
the
this-
nastiest
There is
thing
some, there's a
ever,
little
like,
bit.
Come
Little
on.
Okay,
bit.
like you know,
Side
the
boob,
queen
like,
like
side
disrobes.
boob.
You don't see anything.
ass.
I was like, you know, as much as like I didn't want to see a kid's head get cut off or anything like that. I was like, I've seen nothing where I've been anything gratuitous in this, and like that was very much
I hate the
a
female
mainstay.
gay thing.
You know, that was a mainstay in the original series. And that's not even saying that I need it. I'm just saying I just keep expecting it and it's not happening. And like,
Misses the wieners.
This is
yeah,
the weird. Yeah, not enough wieners.
That was
I
a
know.
pretty like shot. Like I
Hold on,
like
hold
that.
on. I think
You
I
gotta watch.
have.
You gotta watch the
something for
wieners
you.
if you want wieners.
I thought I had the wiener gif.
Oh,
I don't. Womp womp. I just
You know
have,
what we need is the beta male song for like human.
No. I wonder if Zax will send it to Zach.
Mommy's
Yeah.
If
boy.
Zach doesn't mind me having it, I would totally be.
It's
Uh,
great. It's great. I mean, they pour it in wet, warm milk.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is a good point. Where Game of Thrones start, you had a lot of boobs, a lot of sex, a lot of crime, a lot of violence, and then it kind of tapered off towards the end. And House of Dragon, there are some moments, but it's not as severe as Game of Thrones.
yeah.
And the
It's
ones
true. There's
that
a
are
reason
there are
for
like
that.
just oof.
There's a reason for that, but it's not that's a discussion for a completely different day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Jairus going through.
I know what you're saying, Kaida, and I agree.
Mhm.
I think I have an idea of what you're saying. And maybe I'll agree. I'm not 100% sure. I have to know.
The war
so
wasn't
this
that
is-
like that. In
This
the
is
chat.
where Or what she said, everyone's hot, but no one's horny. Yeah.
Yeah. Except we get the
That is like
like
the subtitle
frantic, like Kristen Cole
this whole
crap.
thing. Yes,
Except
except for
my boy
Kristen Cole.
Kristen Cole. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, he's got like a pull over her, but she's only used to like old man, wrinkly, stuff. So like to get a young guy that's passionate and tries different things instead of just missionary, I guess she would be hooked on it.
Yeah, face isn't falling off.
Yeah, but he sucks.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, it's better than what she probably had. But I don't know. My mom would say his dick must be made out of gold to have that much of a holdover. So that's what my mom would have said.
So Jamie's got the golden hand, and Kristen's got a golden wiener. Is that it?
Crispy.
Yes. Crispy Targaryen. Jeez. Copa. All right. So at this moment, Rhaenyra finds out what had happened. She still does not know Daemon kind of set these motions into play. So she is at a loss of why she would be blamed for the death of her nephew, in a sense. Yeah, nephew. If we follow the line. So yeah. It's based that Alicent wanted to skip the funeral. Yeah. Yeah, instead of making it a public show, but they utilize it as a political movement.
Funny you think that they have to do so much to sway public opinion after what Rhaenys did. Like, come on, they're worried about like, oh my god, you killed some rat catchers, which is I'd say arguably justifiable, and then it's like, this bitch just like killed a whole bunch of people in the dragon pit, like for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, there was.
That's
reason,
right.
but-
That was the one part of season 1 I absolutely hated.
It was so
I
bad.
hated that
Like,
part.
At
It was
least they
different in the
corrected
book.
her wig this season. Instead of that weird like pump thing going on in the back of her wig.
Yeah.
I'm not
I keep
saying
looking
it's
for it.
aliens, but
Not saying what?
I'm not saying it's aliens, but come on, you'll see aliens with like what's his name?
I think we mentioned that last episode, Nadia. Yeah. I was like the wig department got a huge up in budget. Like everybody's wig looks a lot better.
Even this bald guy back here, his wig looks fantastic.
Yes. Well, it's actually a bald cap, full head of hair.
There you go.
Yep. Her counsel is basically telling her like there's it's rough out there. To be blamed for the death of a child, not as if you went, enemies. And Rhaenyra's like, I know what it is to have a child die. Why would I do this, especially to Helena? Which I think it just shows how everybody just thinks Helena is just like this pure innocent, just kind of caught in the crossfire.
Well, and also at the end of the day, it's still her flesh and blood. You know what I mean? That would be what, her nephew? Like I think they're still trying, at least she's trying to avoid having to kill her kin.
Yeah, there's a lot of killing of kin. A lot of going on. Is that the Targaryen way?
That's war for you.
Dirty
I don't know. They're really not into kinslaying. That's still like a huge like taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're more into kinslaying.
Yeah.
Indeed.
See right here, she's very thin. I get it. She's been mourning. The whole time I'm just picturing. I'm like, I want my fat Rhaenyra now.
I want fat Rhaenyra too. I mean, they go out of their way to like cast the Valyrians as black people. Like they can't have like a fat person. Like what is up with that? I mean, come on.
This whole time,
for other day.
Lizzo wasn't available to play Rhaenyra, so
or Dragon.
She was in Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, she was one of the planets that they went past.
She was?
What about Lady Whistleton?
Hey, you leave Penn out of this, all right? All right, I will kick you out, my guy. You leave Penn out of this.
Lizzo's big ass. Look at Damon's
And
face. He's just...
I know he's smirking the whole
love
time.
I loved him.
That,
in this
that
episode.
side eye when he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" One of the best
He's
parts of
like-
the whole episode.
Was that side eye? It was amazing.
Oh, that's a good face right there.
Yeah. Well, the face you make when you realize that your uncle husband has killed your brother nephew.
Yeah, everybody kind of looks at him and realizes it, and then she looks at him here and is like, "Wait a minute, you haven't said a single word.
Why
Yeah.
are you
What's going on
smirking?
here?"
Which, I mean, he was telling the truth. It was a mistake, and I kind of felt bad for him, honestly, because he was kind of avoiding the question of, pleading her as her or pledging to her as queen, but he wasn't lying. He was telling the truth, and then he just walked off.
Their interaction coming up is really good.
A key thing I noticed
Yeah.
in this with costume choices, she is not wearing his necklace that he gave her.
You're right. She
No.
wasn't.
Oh.
And another thing
Mhm.
was interesting in this thing is like they've really gone to putting everyone in house colors.
Yeah,
I don't
red
know if
and-
they're
Oh yeah.
just gonna be
At this point.
confused. No, we're wearing red today. Everyone on Team Black is wearing red today. Everyone on Team Green is green. Everyone on the Valerians are blue.
Black.
I can't wait till we get to the Valerian part because that shit pissed me off.
No, I agree though. I think the scene was pretty great, and I mean, I love the fact that Damon tries to keep it together and he tries to stay cool while Rhaenyra is kind of giving it to him, and not to say that she was totally wrong in what she was saying, but when Damon stands up and he's pissed, like she's startled and slightly terrified because she knows that she can't stop him, at least not physically, right? And kind of what he says too about his brother and how he kind of failed to be a better ruler because he was weak, and I do think to some extent Damon Damon was right in some of the words that he said, but I also agree with what Rhaenyra said as well. Like she can't trust him. He's not trustworthy, even though he's loyal, but he does have this.
He's a wild card.
I mean, yeah, but he does have this like hidden agenda as well, right? Like, it's interesting because each team has someone with a hidden agenda. We've got Otto on Team Green, and we've got Damon on Team Black,
True.
right? They want the throne to themselves, but they're just like for the family, right? For Rhaenyra, for Alicent, but we know if they weren't there, then if they could both be rulers, they would be. But I really enjoyed this whole scene though.
But
That's a great-
Damon has
great
a
pause
point.
shot.
Like he should be out there taking Harrenhal for her. I mean, like why is everyone at this point in time
Next episode for sure.
pretending like they're not at war with each other? I mean, what did they think was gonna happen?
Yeah.
I mean, come
War's
on.
best.
It's like Aegon declares himself king. Rhaenyra declares herself queen. Like, what were the logical results of these actions for these people? But they're all moping around like, I don't want to start a war. I don't want to fight people. I don't want to be mean. I'm like, God, stop.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they're all
Go ahead.
I was just say that's why all of them are really inexperienced, except for Damon. Damon's really the only one of them that has actually been on the battlefield legitimately.
Yeah, that's
Right.
why I get so mad at how he's portrayed here, is because I don't want to spoil things, but it's like he's becomes like the real leadership for this. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what you were saying, like about his hidden agenda, I think that's not entirely true. I think he can't hide his agenda no matter what he does. I think he's always had a chip on his shoulder. He always feels slighted. She keeps saying they can't trust you. It was like because he was thinking that should have been his from day one. He always thought his brother was weak. He thought that he was raising Rhaenys to be weak. I think his hidden agenda is when he's backing her. He thinks he's the rightful king.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, she sees right through him though, right? Like she
Yeah, she
knows
does.
what he's up to. But that's why she can't trust him.
Mhm.
Yeah. She couldn't trust him when she was a child, and she can't trust him now when she's an adult. But hey, look, she got what she needed from him. She got blonde babies. So those strongs.
True.
Yeah, which makes the other children stand out. Like, you know what? Nah, infidel.
Yep.
It's like, sorry, old homeboy had to get his head sliced off for nothing, as we had in our chat.
I do like. I'm agreeing with everybody. I like. This is probably the only scene of the entire episode that I did enjoy. I wish Damon would have just choked her just a little bit.
I know, just slap the bitch. Like, god damn,
Yeah.
I wanted to slap her. Stupid. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
I thought it was going
And then,
to right
I
here.
mean,
Like,
what
Yeah, I
they
thought
say?
he was going to.
They
She
go tell
finished
Bela to
both,
take
too.
her dragon out, like, and start flying around King's Landing. And we're like, do you want to die? I mean, Moondancer is a young dragon.
mhm.
I have a feeling that something that happens later on in the story is going to happen sooner, and it's just going to be so.
Yeah.
By the way, who wanted wieners earlier? Who was the one that wanted wieners on the
I
panel?
wanted boobs.
Man, I'll take.
I got you. I got you. We have 199 over at Twitter's. Come on over to YouTube. We have a poll going on in the chat on YouTube. Team Black, Team Green, who won this round, or Kristen Cole's a bitch. Either one, choose. Yes, I know. I come out with the gifts. All right. Yeah, I can't show boobs. I'm sorry. Yes. All right. Sorry. Yes, I wish she had choked her just a little bit, but I think this is the show writer's way of saying, like, no matter what Damon is for Rhaenyra, he is pro Rhaenyra. He doesn't care. He loves her. This is his way of showing. This is their way of showing, like, he loves two things: himself and her, and that is the only thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like he should have slapped her.
Well, even like with Viserys, he did love his brother. His brother was weak, but he did show plenty of times where he loved, especially like the last episode when Viserys died. When Daemon reached down, and picked up the crown for him, that was like one of my favorite scenes the entire
I
season.
love that
It
moment.
was so good.
Yeah, me
Oh
too.
man.
It's like
Best moment
Daemon
of season
Daemon
one.
can, and he is an asshole oftentimes, but he's very, very loyal to his family. And I do think he has real love for Rhaenyra, his wife.
But
niece.
is this them trying to make Rhaenyra a victim again?
I don't know, but I thought it was a very creepy line that came out of her mouth where she said, you only loved only yourself. And I thought of it as a challenge as a child, but I'm an adult now. And I was like, ooh, that's a little
Weird.
Well,
a little weird. A little
it's the whole
Oh,
it's the whole naive thing of women. Well, Damon's the bad boy. Remember how many girls want to change the bad boy?
I do
Yeah.
have a t-shirt.
I can
just
change.
saying.
I can change you because I have the magical vagina, and no, you can't change him.
Yes,
He's gonna
you
be
can.
Damon.
I
So
can't.
ride off on his dragon.
Sorry, hubby, if you're listening.
Well,
All
now.
right. Oh, this is great. So he leaves, and I like also that there's a line later on where she goes, I don't know if he's going to be gone for a week or forever. I don't know what Damon does, which is a very interesting dynamic in this relationship. I wonder how it will circle back towards the end of the season.
It's about to circle back real quick.
Plot thickens.
I did love that shot too of Damon on his dragon in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Full armor.
So good.
Oh man, that was gnarly.
Like,
know-
oh,
I mean, we
somebody's doing
know-
something. Thank you.
We know what's coming. We know what's coming. Like, yeah.
I wonder how they're gonna do that because I know in the book it's like it's the way it is. I wonder how they're gonna do it in the show since
Yeah.
they like to change shit. See, this is why I should never read the book.
That's what I said. I'm waiting until
why
afterwards.
Yeah, I think I'm on with Sammy with that. I'm going to read Fire and Blood, and then I'm going to go into the Game of Thrones books and read all of them. And then I was telling Blue Collar, after that, I'll go into Wheel of Time if my Dresden book is not out by then
Oh boy.
to read it.
Good
Yeah.
luck with that.
I haven't watched the show, so I don't know anything of it.
You're
So
better for it.
that's what I'm told by everybody. So she asks, and I can't remember the character's name. If somebody can help me.
Bela.
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 Yeah.
So instead of her son asking to say like, "Hey, I'll take my dragon and I will go scouting. I'll go watch King's Landing," she thinks it's too dangerous. Instead, she sends her stepdaughter out with a very young dragon to kind of scout out and watch King's Landing. Which my question is, do they just float above King's Landing the whole
No,
time? Don't the dragons get
they're
tired?
around they're around the bay. They fly around the bay.
So I assume they stop at some points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they-
would
they'd have
believe
They
to.
just
so.
like post up.
Glide, yeah. I mean,
I thought she picked her because she had a young dragon. She might be harder to spot.
That's true.
Kind of
That would make sense.
like a
How young
like a-
is her dragon exactly?
It's very young. It's like
It's
it
not-
shouldn't. It
it's not
should
battle
barely
ready at all.
even be like big enough to ride by now.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
it's
doesn't
Moon-
end up
Moon
riding it
Dancer.
until the end of the Civil War.
They're changing her story, her and
Yep.
her sister's story. I think they
Yep.
said they were getting the one character who's supposed to show up during this sewing. I don't think she's gonna show up. I think they're changing her and taking her story and putting it with the sisters.
yeah, I think it seems that way. I mean,
But-
it's kind of like Lady B said. There's something that is being sped up with
Yeah.
Bela, and
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see
In
how
a good
it's.
way
Speaking of
or a
speeding
bad
up,
way?
It's not bad. It's just speeding it. I'm trying to figure out where they're going to end the season because they're speeding up. I didn't think they were going to do the twins this episode.
We could have an off chat discussion for those of us who have read the book, maybe like where we think it's going to end. But I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
I think I have a good idea of where it's going to end based on what characters are not in what episodes.
I don't know if I trust IMDb though. Like IMDb is
I don't know.
like,
It
So I
makes
don't
sense
want-
just to have it end. I would, if I was doing this thing, I would end it there. But
It would make sense.
you know what though, that seems like a if we're thinking the same thing, I feel like that moment would be like a good penultimate episode.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
the finale are the events that occur after that, but still leaves us on a bit of a cliffhanger sort of thing, which yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Look at them all up in armor.
But no, Damon looks badass here. I mean,
yeah.
This armor looks so good.
yeah, Caraxes it's such a cool
Yeah.
looking bloodworm.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love the way he flies when he starts to wiggle and shit. It looks really
Mhm.
cool.
his helmet looks better than it did in the first season.
It does.
It looks like they I mean, obviously like they remodeled it, but it almost looks like he purposely wanted it changed from the last battle that he was in against the king the crab lord.
I gotta imagine
Yeah.
it's gotta get sweaty in that thing, man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
ugh. Can't imagine the steel burns you get, like rug burns. Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, I've done reenactment. Like it can get kind of rough. Like I mean, helmets aren't that bad because you can put a lot of like padding inside. Like
But I'm talking about like your arms, your sides, and then having to
yeah,
wear.
you can get
stuff
some
around your
rubbing and
legs.
stuff. You more like you get like bruises from it because it's hard. Like it's heavy and stuff. But I don't know. It's probably just
Shadaman.
plastic. Yeah.
This is true because this Carax is my favorite dragon. Coincidental.
There's something that's interesting with the dragons. I mean, we definitely see another dragon riding in this episode, which I'm pretty sure I know who was on it. If that's who I think it was from the book, but
Oh, you're talking about there's a shot where there's a dragon in the sky, but I can't tell from afar who it is.
pretty sure that's Alan riding that dragon, or I could be wrong though.
I don't.
Guys
think so.
shouldn't be
Yeah.
riding that dragon yet.
Yeah, they haven't done.
I
that.
mean, I know he
I
shouldn't, but
I can't
like,
wait till we get to that.
No, I think the dragon is coming back because of what's his name? Rhaenyra. Like he's whatever. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work because technically you can't ride a dragon until the rider is dead. So maybe he died. I don't know.
yeah.
Interesting. So dragons don't just like, hey, I'm done with this rider. I'm going to switch to someone else.
No, they stay until you're dead. pretty
Yeah,
much,
they're
right?
like bonded
they're
to
the bond.
the rider.
Yeah, like
That's kind of
Vermithor.
another problem.
Yeah,
But
like
they'll
Vermithor
probably
is
just
not-
have.
written yet anymore.
I thought this was an interesting scene too, of the two of them not actually consoling each other,
So,
even though
Yeah.
it's their
Mhm.
child.
Yeah.
Yeah, which just like, I mean, the fact that they're brother and sister is weird to begin with. Just
I felt bad for her though, because it's almost like she was looking for like just like a second of like consoling with not only her husband but the king and her brother and the father to her dead son, and they just kind of look at each other and it's like, okay, and she's like, oh, okay, so you're just gonna ignore me, like that's gonna help my mental state, like like,
do you think he was ignoring her because he blames her because she was there when it happened instead and gave up the son instead of the daughter? I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
I mean, it's a good that's a good question. I think also, what was she going to do? Like, even if they wanted to kill both of them, she wouldn't have been able to stop two men, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
See, that wasn't my takeaway. I mean, if you even look at her face, she looks concerned for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
she
think I
is for sure. Yeah.
I think they do their crying together in their quarters. But I think she sees, I mean, the absolute just how decimated he is emotionally, and she's seeing him walk and just knowing he's absolutely broken inside, and she's looking at him almost, trying to reach out. They don't have to say anything.
Well, it's like she was afraid, and her fear was proven right based on the end of the first first episode. So it's like, he didn't listen to her, and it obviously was a disadvantage for them to not like be on the same page and to not at least like hear her out. But yeah, he might blame her, and obviously that's not really in the book at all. So like what they're trying to create and try to fill in the lines between the pages in the show here, like it's either something that like we are creating for the sense of the show, or they're not including, or that they have to include to, like help, paint that picture and give us that perspective. Like, but it's like, I would have liked to have seen some dialogue between those two characters, and like less dialogue with the White Worm and Rhaenyra. Like that should have been cut real soon, like less time, because she's a terrible actress, and just the character sucks.
Yeah, that would be a critique on the show. It's the conversations we're not getting.
I came home with nothing.
Shield says he saw the post show and says the writer said they shared a moment of unsaid grief.
That's how
I don't say it was portrayed.
I don't see that either. Like,
where's the
yeah, where is it? Where do they look like upset?
I just saw
or
like
oh
nod,
Well, he looks at her and he kind of just turns his head, and
it's like a passing glance.
Yeah, but he looks upset, and then she looks back at him, almost pitying him. Like he has this look like, I'm just holding it together, and then she looks down, and then she looks back at him, and like it's almost like, oh, he's really going through it right now.
Like just because she nods her head, like like yeah, okay, this kind of looks like just like how you give a glance and you're just like, yeah, and you could kind of pick it up, like, yeah, you see it right here. You just
I think there's a problem is these two, like, there's no like really husband and wife love there. They're just like, they're into forced marriages. They're just like, they just marry because they have to. But they don't really care about each other that much. It's like, it's a sister, and they're not like, it's different than Jaime and Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, yeah. That's a good comparison. But I think even between Aegon and Aemon, we see a lot more of them, and obviously there needs to be, but for the sake of it being his sister and wife, like, you'd think that there would be some more dialogue, aside from her just saying, I'm afraid, and like, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, just like a scene of him like crying to her in bed and her like patting his head or so. It was like, what type of relationship is this? Because right now it's nothing. I was like, it's not brotherly, it's not husbandly. It's they're kind of too hunks of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
Lots of-
hoping at the end when she walked in, he was crying. I was hoping they both were in there. You know,
Yeah,
that's what I was.
That
hoping.
that would have made things a lot better, for her character and for us as viewers, you know. And this bitch right here. Oh god.
Yeah, and the beta male of the episode.
Ah, beta
or this
male.
season.
beta
Yeah.
male.
Mama's boy.
Yes, so he's watching them take down Jaehaerys's bed and sees the mattress as it flips over in blood covered from when the head was chopped off. And instead of being, feeling like he's feeling bad about it, he projects onto anybody he can overpower on, right? With Sir Eric. And then I like how they cut to Rhaenyra's kids, because it almost looks identical to the scene in episode 1 with Helena's twins playing.
Yeah. But like, enough of this stuff. We get it. You have children. You feel bad about this. Like, okay, enough. Like, you are the cause of this. Like, take some responsibility. I don't know. Take some action. Be like,
I must have missed it in this scene. Was she asking him to come in?
Yeah, I get the hint, but she was really asking if he said anything about those two.
Yeah.
That's the only. That's what I got from that.
She didn't like personally invite him in.
Yeah. He
Yeah, she's
didn't want
"Look,
to because he looked like he was regretful.
Well, like she left the
Because
door open, right? I remember.
No, she
Yeah.
closed it.
She
shot
closed
it
it.
right on his face,
She
like he
that's right.
deserves.
Can't see me
Sex.
naked again. Just kidding. I think courses.
That's where he should
think
work.
so, too.
Yeah, it's where he should work.
I think I hate him more than I hate Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
yeah, Joffrey he did things. I like Joffrey because I hated, like, he's an asshole. Like, he's just the worst evil person.
He's
but,
a
like,
villain. Like,
did
Joffrey's a villain.
things,
He
yes.
plays a villain. This guy is just... Jesus.
the queen, my other queen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's basically salty because one queen didn't want to run away with him. And literally, if he had just kept his mouth shut, he would have had this type of relationship with Rhaenyra, probably. He probably would
Yeah.
be the father of her children.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But instead, he's gonna be like, "We want to run away together." Man up, my guy. Jeez, sorry.
He was in
Again,
love.
no boobs in this scene.
Well, yeah. Oh, and then here he is trying to be a
This
big
scene
man.
pissed me off
to
so
Sarah.
much.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
this scene. I
Oh
like
my
this
God.
Because of the
yeah.
dirt on his cloak, I was like, oh my god.
It was
My
straight
dude.
projection. He was straight
Oh, I know.
projecting. That's why I like the scene, because he's just straight up like, well, he obviously feels bad. He's like, he did wrong, but he can't admit to it because he has a flaw. So he's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna make this guy feel like shit, and then make him do something.
Dude, I
Yeah,
like how Sir Eric in this scene had more balls than Kristen Cole did, because he's like, where were you?
Yeah,
Alone?
where
Yeah,
were
no,
you?
he gives it back
Yeah.
to him. I thought he was gonna come right out and say it.
Yeah, George,
I thought he was gonna be like, hey, if
Please don't.
you were doing what you should have been doing
Come here.
instead of boning the queen.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the
Which I-
other ones got up and just walked away. As
Yeah,
soon as
they're
he
like,
said
Yeah.
it
guy
out
like grabs
loud.
his gloves. He's like, all right, time to go.
I know, that was funny. They're all leaving.
When he stands up to him and says, "Where were you?" I think this tells that there's rumors or whispers that Cole has been banging the queen. I
Like,
really
do
think
men
so.
behave like this? Like, be realistic. Do they?
Do you guys?
Yeah,
And-
sometimes if one of them's being a little bitch about something, then yeah.
bait him in, yeah.
It feels
Yeah,
like womanly behavior.
But also, if that happened and there was a group full of guys, everyone would have been like, "Come on, man!" Like,
Yeah,
Like,
and I don't
we
think
know
the
where
other
you
guys
were
would have left
last
the
night.
room. Someone
know
would have
where
been
you
like, I
were.
heard a rumor you're banging the queen. You'd be like, shut
yeah,
your mouth.
yeah. Where were
Sir
you?
Christian
and,
Munch.
and it wouldn't even matter about superiority or anything
Munch
like
and
that.
Cole.
Like, especially if you already know that Sir Christian Cole's kind of a bitch, you would have said something.
Seriously. Wait, here's the scene, right? Everybody gets up.
Yep.
It's like, all right, we're out.
I thought Buddy on the right there in the in the forefront was going to start taking food.
Yeah.
So did I.
I'm still eating. Like I need to eat.
Yeah.
Sir Eric couldn't eat, so I was like, shit, I might as well take my
I
food
feel
now
like-
while I can.
Sir Eric could probably take him.
100%.
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Yeah, he gonna step up to
like
my
I
boy
said,
Cole
there's
like that.
there's no way. He that's just how honor bound he is. He knows that this dude is projecting all over him, and he's just gonna serve. It was like everybody else. The only reason they're not standing up to him is because he, I guess, could probably have them executed.
He's the Lord Commander of the King's Guard. You know.
Yeah,
I have a
so-
question
Have to
for
listen
the
to him.
pro green on this panel. How do you feel about this internal fighting and this decision of sending Sir Eric to slay Rhaenyra?
It's a. I won't say it's a genius plan. It's definitely a plan. It makes sense if you think about it. And then if you think about it for a
Yeah.
little longer, it's like, well, there's a million things that could go wrong. Like what happened as soon as he got there. But you know, at least he's making a plan. You know, he's doing something.
But
And
it's
this
so-
is why he becomes the hand of the king too. He's
Yeah.
making moves.
He does things.
And he has a cool hand chain that's coming next episode. I can't wait.
Interesting.
Mhm.
But it's like what Otto says. Like when he hears of the plan, Otto does like this like face roll. He's just like seriously, that's your plan? Like you don't think someone's gonna notice a guy that looks like the other guy? What happens if they run into each other? Like I don't think Cole put 2 and 2 together, right?
I think this was more punishment for him. Again,
for
projecting
sure.
the fact that this
Projecting
guy
and
wasn't there
punishment.
protecting, and
Mhm.
then okay, how do I make up for it? Let me send him to. It's a suicide mission all around.
Yeah.
Like there's no way
Yeah.
this guy's gonna come back alive.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, because what's the first thing he confronts him about? It's like that his cape is dirty. It was like the
Yep.
guy was coming in with BS from the gate. Like they're I mean that's nothing to interrupt a guy who's just got done with, you know, like watching the castle at night. I'm sure he was getting something to eat and then he was gonna take a rest. It's like, no, you go change your robes right now. And the guy's like, my dude, what are you talking about? Also, and I think what Otto was mad about in this is that is something that they could have used further on the line. You know, if like maybe they were attacking Dragonstone, then you send in the guy who looks like someone else. Why more people are distracted? Why, you know, you have a better chance of getting at the queen. Sending someone in like on a solo mission like this, yeah, it's certain death. So,
Yeah.
but that is something you could have used later on to help you, but like now you've for sure taken that off the table.
Agreed.
I thought this was a useless scene here, and my
Also-
husband, who is a weapon guy, is like, you never see her actually load the bolt. You actually never
know,
see her
right?
like, actually pull up and
Remember
load
when
the bolt.
Joffrey got that giant crossbow? Like that was cool.
Yeah, she just put it in there and it's shot.
I feel like this was just useless.
I guess
Yeah, it
it's,
didn't
character
Good girl, boss.
development.
A little bit, but I feel like this is not. I don't think this is going to come back and tie into anything. Personally,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll eat my foot if it does, but I guess I don't know. Maybe to give a little bit more depth to these two characters, but because they might play a bigger part later on in the season. But it just felt very just inserted just to kind of waste time in this episode.
Oh yeah, we got a few
Yeah.
of those coming up that were pissing me off. Yeah, they're coming really soon.
Yep.
I think it's right after this one.
Okay, so hold on. I gotta stop
I
my
mean,
screen so we get to the whorehouse past
I'll
the
take-
boobs.
I guess the only good part, Nadia, is like, you know, she asked him about Harwin Strong. He's like, yeah, you know, he was good to us, and I think he loved us. She's like, of course he loved you. So they both know that Harwin Strong was their father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
point.
think that was the
Yeah,
only like real meat
Yeah.
behind that conversation.
That's
Like,
Mhm.
you know, what they were saying was true, and he's like, yeah, no, I know.
I mean, they're not dumb, you know.
But they're just kind of doing what they're, you know, they're the adults are telling them like to do. Like, hey, don't say anything, follow our lead, and we'll handle it. And then we have little baby Voldemort here.
Yeah.
Look at that eye. That eye is awesome.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
eye is
the
cool.
eyes just cool.
Yeah.
I like
It
this. This is
alleviates
refreshing, Sir Eric.
all
Yeah.
the other stuff. All right, the eye makes up for everything else.
So
Yeah,
this
I-
is she's
pretty cool.
obviously like a mother figure, right? Like a creepy. This is like a creepy.
Yeah, I remember her from
mom
season
thing?
1 when they went to go look for like Aegon and
Right.
like, yeah, I know where she went to this one place that we took when I was a kid. Like, and it's just like, hey, Prince, coming back again.
Yeah, she's like, "My, have you grown?"
Not that much though. This guy's pretty skinny.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, the guy is really scrawny and shit. Look at how skinny he is. Like, what the hell? And like, why did they show him like that? Like, he's
I guess to
the
show
shit that
vulnerability.
later,
I guess.
it's like
I
he's
don't
such a fucking Chad. Like, why? Why do they do this with
Yeah.
every man in the show? It's like, how can we make this man look awful?
This is a
It
point.
does
There has
feel
been a
like
lot
an
of
attack on
essay discourse
masculinity.
going around this about the fact that he, like, from what I've seen, the internet says he's been groomed by this lady, and this is just a version of essay discourse going on. I don't know necessarily because I feel like he volunteers come back, but again,
Yeah.
if he's been groomed to, if this is the only woman that's, I guess I don't know. What men on the panel? What do you think?
I think I would never succumb to this kind of bullshit. I don't know. I think it's weak as fuck.
At a strip
I'm not gonna
club,
hold
you know
back.
what I mean? That's like going
Yeah.
to the strip club. You pay $200 to go to the back room, and then you just lay in the stripper's lap and tell her about your week. You know,
Yeah.
like, what are
You
you
Yeah.
doing?
while
This is
crying
what the
the
character
entire
should be.
time.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, man?
A lot of
But
guys feel comfortable at a whorehouse.
It
But,
ties
like, his-
in though.
But it's
It
like,
ties
dude,
in.
like you're supposed to be like if you're trying to be strong, and you really want to rule, right? You should be doing everything that you could be doing, right? And I think he looks like he's from a third world country, like malnourished as hell, right? Like he should be beefing up. He should be training. He should be plotting like what to do after he just realized that they just came to me. Like he should be fired up as well. And that was something I thought that was missing from this episode, where not once do we see Aegon, who is his brother, go to him and be like, well, where were you? Or how do you feel about this? Also, you killed Luke, who has now killed my son. So like you need to go fix this shit as well. Or like, I'm going to put you, it's almost like I felt like there should have been some, again, like a linear comparison with how Rhaenyra is treating Daemon. We should have seen something where Aegon is doing the same thing to Aemond, but he's in some whatever room that is in a brothel.
Yeah.
Whore
Yeah, they
house.
very
think
much
this-
are supposed to be reflections of each other.
Do you think this
And-
stems from the fact that Alicent really honestly didn't want these children in the long run? I mean, she was forced to give birth to these children, so she was a child herself, so she was never really a motherly figure to them while they were growing up. So this is what he, in a weird fantasy kink way, that this is what he sorts out, like older women like this.
Oh,
I have
for
no
sure.
idea.
Because
I
at
think they
one
want-
point in
I think they
time,
want them to be that way, but
no, at one time she like goes to like grab him in a more sexual way, and he like puts her hand back like in a more nurturing way. And it was just like, and when you look at it, it was like, well, what do you expect, dude? You're in a whorehouse. Like that's what she's there for. But instead, you're looking for like a therapy session almost. Like, what are you doing? So I don't know.
It's hard. I mean, some guys go to strip
Reek was
clubs.
more
And,
manly. Yes, he was.
like, some guys have problems. They go to a strip club and they dump like $1,000 into a stripper and turn the stripper into a therapist.
Hey, I know a guy.
I know people like that.
That's
Speaking of strip clubs, we have 128 people watching, 115 over on X. So please come over to YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe. There is a poll going on in the chat for Team Black, Team Green, or if Christian Cole is a bitch. So please come on over to YouTube and check us out over there. But yes, so you know a lot about strip clubs, Kaida?
I was in the military, so
Okay.
I've had my fair share of time in a strip club. Okay, You know what? You want to know? You know what? I had a friend who found a stripper, and she was married to an MP, and she liked my friend more, so she started messing with my friend and divorced
Hmm.
the MP to try to get with my friend, and then my friend stopped messing with her, and the
Oh,
MP put a warrant out for his arrest,
oh
and then
shit!
they walked into the
Oh,
office to arrest him, and everybody laughed,
That's not petty.
and
Damn.
then the stripper went back to the MP, and yeah.
damn.
I got a lot of stripper stories.
Yeah. Is Eamon this bit of a bitch in the book?
No.
No, good God, no.
no.
I just wanted to set off Lady B.
Damon. They're the two
Not at
people
all.
that they're like, oh, they're up. Like, they're be on my secret. I think like Damon could totally be on my secret boyfriend list. I feel like Eamon is just like he's too young for me. Like, I'm an older woman now. I need men with more spirit.
No, it's
Damon's your
it's
book
frustrating.
talk boyfriend.
Book. Yeah, I have some book like he's cool. I mean, like the men of action, they get shit done. Like I got Sir Gerald there.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, here we
does-
go.
Lady B likes Eamon at a certain point in the book for sure.
Here we
Oh,
go.
hell
This
yeah.
is where I start
We'll
getting pissed off.
Well, this scene did
Before I-
seem to explain a little bit what I mean. Very little, very little. I get your point. The only thing it really addressed was like the blockade that they had in place was slowly starting to take effect. But yeah, I get what you mean though. It was like kind of a filler.
Oh, do you guys
All of
remember
them
who this was?
From
Yeah,
the first
that-
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
it's
didn't.
cute.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
He was in the throne room scene when he was doing the what is it, concessions or whatever, and he was the armor asking for the money for the
For the
finish what
weapons.
they were doing.
Blacksmiths, yeah.
That's I didn't
Oh,
like
yeah,
it.
okay.
I didn't like
Oh.
it when he showed up in that episode either. It's like, okay, you keep setting this guy up. Like they did this like 4 times in a row. Like they had him, then they did Adam and Alan, and then they did another one with Alan on the
Yeah, I
beach.
know. Why do
And
they
it
keep
was
doing this?
pissing
Like once
me
enough.
off. It's like, okay, like I see what you're doing. You're trying to set up these characters for what we know is coming on. Like you're doing pure fan service here. And there's a way to do fan service and make it work. Here you're literally just saying, "Hey, you know this guy, you know where they're going." Like when they did the Adam and Alan, like we're going to get to that part. I'll let you get to it and then I'll get my frustrations out because that shit was pissing me off.
Do I want to ask who this is in the books, or is this something we should discuss offline so I don't
Yeah,
we don't
that's
spoil
a,
it for
he's a
everyone?
he's a major
Yeah,
it's a major spoiler.
He's
Okay,
somebody that
okay.
has
Yeah.
a very,
Oh.
very big role later
Yeah,
on.
it's a major spoiler with him.
Okay. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that for
Piece of
everybody
shit.
watching. I just felt this was just
Damn.
since I don't know that, I just felt from just a viewer of just the TV show, this is just like we're just bringing it back the fact that communism doesn't work. No, I'm kidding. That this stuff does this is just again filling more time, but I guess you get it from the point of view. Is he a small folk? Would he be considered a small folk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from a point of view of small folk of what's going on, the Team Black, Team Green are only concerned what's going on between their families and the political back and forth. We don't see it from a point of view of just like the average Joe, and that's what I thought they were trying to get here. But if he's a major plot point, I don't want to spoil it for people.
Well, it
See,
looks
I
like
can
they
see
were
how you
trying
think
to
that,
do
but I
too.
never got that because you never saw that in anything else of like Game of Thrones. It was like
Yeah, that was.
we
it's
just
different.
assumed that the peasants were always getting crapped on.
Well, I
Yeah,
assume
I-
like he
I
wasn't
did
a
like
major
that.
player that he'll come back and be killed in some way, and you just feel they're just trying to make you build empathy for the small folk, so that
Yeah.
if he does get killed in a certain way, it comes back and you're like, oh, he has a sick daughter, he has a wife and stuff. That's what I thought they were
Okay.
trying to build towards. That's where my mind, but I guess not. And
I mean,
he's
yeah,
I
doing
know.
doing
It's like
that.
they're already
They're
trying to
doing
like
that, but-
whitewash this character. Like this is not like he's not that kind of a person.
Yeah, they're doing that and also trying to. Hey, yeah, you know this guy. His name is Hugh. And we got Adam and we got Alan here. Remember these names? They're gonna come up later.
Yeah, we said the inflation's hitting them hard even in the show as it is in real life for us. So it's like hot damn.
I laughed. I was like, oh,
It'd be like
Oh,
that. Holy shit.
I know. I'm
2024
kind of
lens.
curious about the hair with these guys because there should be some hair color things, right? Like if they're doing the people.
true?
Yeah. Well,
He's
that's
doing
why.
certain people, and they're like, okay, we was
I
dragon
need
riders.
if this is true, Zax, is this true? Is this one of your jokes?
No,
Do
it's
the-
not. Like I
They
think the
share
first
writers.
Yeah, I think the first episode had some of the same writers. The writer for this episode was the one that wrote episode 9 of
Mm,
first season.
okay. So we're introduced to Adam with 2 A's. Oh, 2 D's. Sorry, 2 D's, not 2 A's.
Yeah,
Which
Adam of
house-
Hall.
And is the brother of this gentleman who was in the first episode too. I guess Flaccid Wood Adam, I guess. Okay.
Good. I don't know. They're kind of hot. Like they might have some of the teeth.
They're
I
the
like
only
how they dress.
masculine looking men other than
know,
Damon
right?
on this. Like they are. Like they look like men who actually use their hands and like do manly things instead of just being.
But I
a
know
little
how I
fetal
love how like they
position.
color code everyone, so you know how everyone. So you could have been playing off like these guys were like maybe like who are these people? We don't know, but they have their shirts on, so we know what team they're on.
Well, we were introduced to his brother in episode 1, though.
Yeah,
Forrest,
they didn't.
yeah.
Adam, they didn't really, but they didn't really say a lot about him. And the part that's coming up that really like irritated me is coming up here in a second, where they were
Oh my
talking.
god, yeah, dude! Oh, he said the line. He said the line. Oh my god!
It really irritated the fuck out of me.
What line? What line? We're
'Cause-
spoiling for the show and book. It's okay.
Okay,
The
so they're talking to each other, and he's like, because remember in the first episode, Corliss had thanked Adam because he got him out of the water when he fell
Saved his
overboard
life.
in season 1. When he got sick and stuff. So he's thanking him. He's like, oh, he should thank you. He owes us. He really owes us. And the way that he's saying that is a major point in the book. Is something that was of contention of what was going on with these characters. So when he said that, it's like, okay, so you just confirmed which way you're going, like with that storyline, and it really annoyed the fuck out of me because like you're already getting into that. Like, first of all, these characters shouldn't even be right here yet. We're not even at that point
We
yet.
don't need them in the story yet.
Eating it up.
And second of all, you literally just told us already exactly where you're gonna go with it. Like just now, you just hinted at. I mean, the regular people aren't gonna figure that shit out until like in a few weeks or whatever. But when I saw that
I'm
shit
those
really
regular
just annoyed
people.
me.
You know
I-
what,
Yeah,
you know,
do you-
and did you guys pick it up? He straight up gives the
I picked it up
freaking guy
immediately.
Ladriel line. The guy Ladriel line for freaking like Rings of Power. He's like, you have not seen the things that I have seen.
Yeah,
I'm like, get out, get the
that's
fuck out of town. I'm like, oh my god.
Do you guys
Don't
think
say
that
that.
they're speeding through this part because there are 2 less episodes than the first season? Because I remember
I think so.
That could be it,
Georgia
yeah.
R. Martin was saying he wanted like 4 seasons of 10, I think, episodes.
I
don't
mean,
know
that's
why
as
this
much
is
as they
in-
could do, though.
I
They
mean,
can't
this
go
show
past
costs
4.
This season costs 200 million. I mean,
Wow.
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
in
it looks
comparison, the
better than
Acolytes was like 186 million, I think.
180. I was about to say it looks better than that piece of shit.
I'm just saying, 2 episodes of this has been better than that entire show.
Yeah, but I'm with
Yeah.
Lady B. Like, let's get moving, guys. Let's get some, because even so, I love the first season. I love the political back and forth in the first season. It was slow for a lot of people, but I expected out of the gate, just especially how they were marketing this season, that we were going to get like battles, action, movement. And I understand you have to set it up, but you could have literally used episode 1 to set it up. Blood and Cheese could have been its own episode, frankly, from what I've told from the book, and then just move on into it instead of they're just like, okay, we're going to give you a little bit of action and then just a lot of dialogue and just a lot of slow movements. Like, come on, let's move it, guys. Let's go. Let's go. You got dragons. Let's go. I want to see dragons fighting.
Especially if you're
Come
just
on.
going to be doing fan service. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here, man. I
Yeah,
hate
for
fan
like
service.
5 minutes.
Even this scene to me, just again,
Useless.
Again.
What happens here?
yeah,
Where Corey's
she's upset.
admits
Talk
he's
about
a power bottom.
loyalty.
Yeah.
He's old,
He's like, I like it when you boss me around.
This is just her just saying, yeah, I know what it means to be overlooked or overthrown, whatever. I get it. You've said it. Believe me, your face, you've said it. Your body language, everything has been said multiple times throughout the first season and now this season. So we get it. We get it. You're salty that you weren't picked as queen. We understand. Let's go.
I
At
mean,
least they
come
didn't do
on.
that.
And it's so stupid if you think about it. It's like, okay, she didn't, like, they weren't putting her up as a queen because she had a son at the time, Laenor. Laenor was 7. He was too young to be a king. Okay, that makes sense. So they picked Viserys. Okay, great. Like, your son married the heir apparent. Your grandchildren will inherit. Like, I don't know what you're angry about.
Yeah, for 200 million, there better be way more dragons.
Yeah,
way
lots
more.
and lots and lots of dragons.
Starting
Maybe they're
next
just gonna
episode
blow
for sure.
the top off in the next episode and just set it off for the next, 6.
That'd be great. I would
would
love to
be
see
cool.
that.
Do we don't? I guess we'll wait for next episode predictions and talk at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the worst actress.
Oh God.
God.
I already stated how much I dislike this scene. This should have been cut to make
Women
maybe
affirming women.
30. This,
Yeah,
this
it
scene
is.
should have been 30 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah, it
Yep.
That's it.
dragged
It
way
didn't need to
too
be this long.
Hmm.
'Cause it really went nowhere.
Well,
Why
you
did
don't
you
get that
watch
like?
Game of
scar?
Thrones without a shitty foreign actress coming in with a terrible accent.
I mean, they could.
It's a
I would have
horrible
been fine if they
background.
had like a foreign actress, because this chick is from Essos. Like, she's different. Like, fine, cool. But like, man, get somebody better. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
How about any
someone
of
with a
those
little
people
charisma?
that were in like Shogun? Get Mariko. Like, she could have been good. I don't know.
God, she's so
Yeah,
hot.
she's like a void of any type of charm.
I would let.
And why is
God.
like Rhaenyra explaining, oh, you need to be my my eyes and ears. Okay, like you need this. Like, okay, Rhaenyra, you should know this. How long have you lived in the freaking castle? Like, I don't know.
Well, also, she's already betrayed them already. I understand she did it for money, but she's already betrayed them. Why would you want anybody on your side that's willing to flip for a dime?
I guess keep your
Because
friends
they
close
both-
and enemies closer. I guess.
Yeah,
'Cause
she
they
has
both
every
have a love
reason
for
to
Daemon?
dislike you.
Yeah. And like it takes her a second to realize who she is from
Mhm.
the first season. Oh, like, come on, girl.
Yeah, I thought she would
Yeah.
have picked up on that a lot sooner. I mean, she's literally sitting there talking with Daemon and having a conversation with Daemon, and they're really close. Put 2 and 2 together. She speaks. She's foreign. Come on, let's come on.
Agreed,
Context
William.
clues.
It's one thing to keep her alive if she's valuable, but she really provides no value.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not yet, anyway.
yeah, I mean,
Does she
obviously,
provide value in the book?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she becomes
She's a
like
white
she's like
worm.
one of the master of whispers for them.
Okay,
But no, we gotta
I would
affirm the fact
not
that
have guessed that watching this.
Yeah.
yeah, like
Oh.
and that scene too is weird. They were like affirming the fact that they both been with Damien, and then just like, okay, are you gonna duke it out over this dude?
Great,
Like,
we're
what's going
Eskimo
on?
sisters. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Move on. There's
Yeah,
a
here
war
we
to
go.
win.
I bore
guys.
children, you didn't.
Here we go. More
So
fan
here-
service.
Who is this?
Yeah.
Sea
We're not
smoke
sure.
Yeah.
coming back.
It's
It's a really bad
Oh.
foreshadowing. Like,
Coming
Yeah.
back from where though? If you can say.
I don't know,
Uh,
because Laenor dies in the book. So I'm
Her-
guessing he's just
Oh,
returning.
okay.
Maybe he's dead. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
I see what you mean because he's
Because she-
technically dead, but he ran away.
Mhm.
But we know who rides him after Laenor. So that's
Yeah.
why I don't know.
I have to find out. I have
Why
to
we're
find out.
like-
Because it looks it's hard to tell, but like at the same time, it does seem like there could be someone riding this dragon. Although if this person is riding the dragon, again, that means like at what point in time did that happen? Because we didn't see when this sort of connection and transaction took place. So that's my only thing about, again, I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
I think it's coming back, and this
You know-
is just foreshadowing.
I
you know
just
what I'm
read
saying?
who wrote it, who wrote Sea Smoke after. I see what you guys are going.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
Mhm,
That's why it's
annoying.
foreshadowing.
yeah.
That's
That's
why it's
a-
annoying.
So this is fan service, but this is poorly done fan service.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just doing it. Like, they're just doing the thing. They're like,
If
this
Li-
is the thing that's supposed to happen in the thing.
Do
It's
you
like-
think the makers of this season, do you think that a lot of the viewers are fans and are expected to know this?
Well,
I think
some
they're
of them
doing
are.
it just because.
I think
like,
if you haven't read the book, it is weirdly proper foreshadowing, I guess, for what's to come. But my thing is like, why not kill Rhaenyra in the first season anyway if he's never gonna come back anyway?
Yeah.
they gotta make Rhaenyra not look as evil.
Yeah, but they could have just put that on Daemon. They could have easily just put that on Daemon. If they wanted to keep her pure and like, oh, she's the rightful queen, she doesn't do anything, but Daemon's like her sword, she easily could have done that, which I thought they were gonna go to, but okay,
Yeah, why
this
can't
is
they just
interesting.
make it like, oh, there's ambiguity instead of, oh, it's just.
Yeah. All right. So we are back to King's Landing, and this is where they find the hung rat catchers.
Yeah,
that
this
poor
is
dog.
another change from the books.
Yeah.
Because in the book, they never catch Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets away. So when they showed he was hanging there, I'm like, oh, so they caught his ass. He's done.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what the direction was behind that. Like,
Feel sorry for the dog.
yeah, was it all for the dog? Like, all right, so we
I
like, I don't know.
Was it-
I
They're
think
like, we
it's
got this dog for
to-
2 episodes.
to off balance the fact that the Green in a sense had a win where they were utilizing Jaehaerys's death as sympathy for the people. So they're like, okay, writers are like, they have a win now, but let's set it back off balance where we'll make Aegon unsteady, right? He's gonna hang a bunch of these people, so it's gonna go back to kind of being wishy-washy on who the people really think is the rightful.
I know. Why are they
Fair.
acting like this is the craziest thing to ever happen? It's like Rhaenys just killed probably like hundreds
Yeah.
of people.
Exactly. She
I'm
just
like,
killed-
if anything, like hanging a bunch of those people is completely justified. I don't even think they would be mad. It's like you just had this funeral for your kid, your murdered grandkid, so you're hanging people who were complicit in the murder. Like, I don't know, like middle ages, like people get angry. I don't know.
Yeah, you could
I
have made
think-
an announcement. It was like they said it was a rat catcher. I can't be sure of which one, but these are the
Yep.
people who killed your prince.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
But
Like,
Otto makes a good point in here. Even if he was to do this, why do this in public viewing? Like, why not do
Yeah.
this behind the scenes? And I think this is one of the other strong scenes in the whole episode of
Yep.
Otto confronting Aegon and this little bitch right here with this smug little smirk the
Ugh,
whole
look at
time.
him.
Secretion acting
Disgusting.
Yeah, so
Acted like a
did what he had
bitch.
to do.
I'm such
You know what I'm saying? He said, hey, he got them boys active, okay?
And I
Kristen's
like
got
how he's
low
like, you
key, man.
don't talk to the king like that. I'll talk to my grandson however the fuck I want. All
Yeah.
right.
And he's over his shit because
He
now it's like
is.
his
I-
plan is gone.
yeah.
You know, it's not often
But-
I give any credit to Team Green here, but I got to give respect to Otto in this scene in particular. Like my boy deserves a little bit of a clap. Like I'll give
Well,
that
he
to
set
you,
this-
Kaida.
He set this in motion. This is him. This is this stuff coming back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah,
because of
for
this.
sure. For sure.
Because he's more concerned about putting his bloodline on the throne than the actual person who's on the throne. And this kid is not fit to be a king in any way. In any way. Sorry, Team Green.
Yeah,
My opinion.
He's the rightful king.
he makes good points. That was like, my grandson's a fool who just murdered innocent men. Because you're coming
Mhm.
from the king when the king is murdering innocent people out in the streets and hanging them, doesn't look good for your cause.
Right. It would have made sense to say, like, so we caught someone that
Exactly.
was part of the act, and they said that it was a rat catcher. So by association, we are going to be rounding up all the rat catchers. And at that point, they could have avoided the public display of hangings by trying to pick. Okay, we've got the guy, we've got blood, right? Who's the culprit?
Instead
Like,
of killing him right
line 'em
away.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then hang Cheese at that point, just the one guy. So it's like, hey, we found the guy, because that's just like Otto says, that helps build them up instead of tear them down. But that's just, Aegon's he's too quick. Again, there's nothing wrong with acting, but he doesn't understand the long games, the long plays the way Otto does, because he's young and naive.
Yeah.
He's a stupid little
he has no thought of optics whatsoever. So
Agreed.
He's very act now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, even last episode, with the concessions, where he's just like, yeah, give him this, and it was like, no, idiot. If you do this, you have to do it for everyone who asks, and everyone is going to ask if you grant them this. So it was like, he's very much into absolutes, but he has no thought about it. But yeah, and
I also thought this is where they should have ended the episode too.
I agree.
Yeah.
They should, when he threw the pin on the floor and was out, I think they should have just ended the episode there.
Like after he says like, you're dismissed.
Yeah, and then the Sir Eric thing could have happened next episode and been a little bit better drawn out, I think, or planned out a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know where they could have
Otto's
just cut a bunch of stuff out of this and just ended it with where they ended it now.
And whose idea was it to hang the rat catchers? Was it him, or was this Christian Cole over here recommending it?
I believe it was just Aegon's.
Yeah,
I think it was Aegon. Look at
After
his
overhearing Bloods saying it was a rat catcher.
Yep.
Look at the teeth acting right there.
Still, but this whole exchange with dialogue between these two was really good, because Otto just cuts him so deep with words.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Otto's over it. He's like, you know what? Forget it. This is not, I want my blood on the throne, but this is not where I wanted to see this. He also, I think, feels remorseful for what happened, what is happening based off his friendship with Viserys in the last season and the relationship they had. And he sees basically the Viserys' legacy just like crumbling and it's partially his fault too, for pushing his daughter onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He feels responsible, and I liked to see that little bit of guilt kind of show through his character.
Yeah,
where like, man, I would do anything to have my friend back on the throne right now, because this little shithead can't lead himself, much less a whole kingdom.
Yeah,
so
well, Viserys wasn't a terrible king. You know what I mean?
He wasn't. He wasn't at all.
He had his faults, but at the end of the day, his priorities were in line. Like, he cared about the kingdom. He cared about,
Sort of.
like, kind of. I know he was kind of impotent, as, he was conflict avoiding, but like, he at least thought about things, and he trusted Otto to advise him. I was like, this is just like a cocksure little shit who is just, he has the power to do it, so he is. And that doesn't make a good king at all, and it's going to make more problems than it's going to solve for sure.
Who the fuck is Darian?
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
I was really happy that they mentioned him.
Same. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh shit, all right, cool.
So in this exchange, it ends with, oh, sorry, go ahead, Blue.
Oh no, so he does admit that it was Kristen Cole's idea to send Eric after Rhaenyra, and just, boy, the way Otto's laying in, he's like, don't you ever think about your father? Everything he did, he sacrificed for his dignity.
Yeah.
And my father is dead. And he goes, yeah, and we're all lesser because of it. Like, oh shit. No, he's like, well, we are the poorer for it. Oh,
yeah.
I want vengeance, not dignity.
I was very surprised it's Kristen Cole as the hand, because I really thought it was Clubfoot gonna like pop out of the shadows and
that happens
be like,
in the book. Oh, that's at least they got that right.
Yeah.
That Kristen Cole becomes the hand.
Yes.
I did think it was going to be Clubfoot.
Yeah, because that's what I thought they were setting up in the first episode. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say that's just him, making his moves, trying to position people the way that he wants them to be
Hmm.
positioned.
He's
I
playing the
just, like,
long game.
To me, like the straw in the nail in the coffin right there was like Otto looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, he was right about you." And Egan's like, "He made me king." He starts laughing. Like, is that what you think? And,
Yeah.
like, so now we just we all just
Grandfather.
fucking that right there is just that's it. Check and mate, man. It's like
Yeah, that was a great line.
because everybody knew, but Aegon, everybody knew that Viserys wanted to go to Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality of this whole thing.
Yeah, and technically his grandfather here is the reason why he's king.
Is
Yeah.
that
100%.
what you think?
Yeah.
What you think?
So and then
The
They-
little
he
smug
throws
face he does. Is
Yeah, I
great.
love that though.
I also feel this scene also in a sense ages Otto very hard. You could see that the character hasn't slept. There's hard lines on his face. You can see that he's just been overthinking everything that's been going on. I really like that.
Yeah,
Just
'cause,
small touches to things.
like the whole point of Otto is that yes, he knows Viserys did want Rhaenyra, but Otto still feels like the realm won't accept a queen. There has to be a king. That's the whole point of season 1. He's like, Viserys, I know it's what you want, but people won't accept your daughter, and that's why Otto feels like he's preserving Viserys' legacy, even though he's doing it wrong.
I'm
Plus
gonna let
the whole
Lady
oh yeah, I have to go soon, but I was gonna say plus the whole thing of the council. Remember what they said in the council like of 101 AC, and they were like, hey, like Vale there, and then he's like, no, I'm gonna make my sister or my daughter. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I have to head out of here. I'm getting really tired, kind of hurting and stuff, but yeah.
Well,
thank
Lady
you.
B, where people can find you next? What's going on? Just put yourself
I'll be
in.
on. Yeah, I'm gonna be on Zach's on Wednesday as usual. And that's about it. I'm still deep into like wedding territory and stuff. So
Awesome. Well, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on, Lady B. I love that you keep us in check with the book.
yeah, I try
Our
not to say too
resident
much. I'm
hater.
still waiting to see. Maybe it could turn around. We'll get a good episode or something, or something cool.
For your
happen.
sake, I hope it does.
I do. I get some high tea. Men need to do things. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. I love you all. It's always great talking to you, and I'll see you guys next week.
Bye,
See you
Lady B.
next week.
Alright.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, back to the episode. I just want to punch this guy. So we have one dick on the screen, so let's have another one.
Wow.
Here we go. I feel also he has resting bitch face the entire episode to me.
Yeah.
He
Just
just
like
looks like
no
a bitch.
emotions on face. Yeah,
He always
Very
looks
punchable.
surprised.
they
Very
both
punchable.
are. And then he's like, "All right, I'm out. You're
It
dismissed."
did seem like he had like a slight moment of like, oh shit, I'm the hand now. This is pretty cool. It like very slight.
But he has combat experience, but I don't think he doesn't really have like political movement and just like the understanding of how to be a couple steps ahead of someone, understanding to that. Like he only knows the sword.
Yeah, let me ask,
Yeah.
does making him the hand backfire in the end for Aegon? If you can say.
It
It's
does
not-
and it doesn't.
See, it's not that easy to yeah, like there's no real easy way of answering that without alluding to other pivotal moments in
All right, that's fair.
in the book.
Okay.
It
Tell me
it
everything.
gets pretty crazy.
It does.
I will say for Kristen Cole haters, continue to watch the show. You will enjoy it.
Yeah.
So Rhaenyra here is letting the White Worm know she's free to go. She's going to honor Damien's word of giving her freedom, which I think also another kind of filler episode, in my opinion, on this portion of it. I mean, this could have easily been the earlier episode, and this could have easily been cut down and put together and done. But
Yeah.
they let her go. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like they could have basically like cut those two scenes together in like a span of a minute, instead of it there being like a elongated conversation.
Yeah.
But
Also, I was expecting her to really say something. about.
Oh, me too.
I was
100%.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god. And I think I said to Nick, like, oh my god, this you can redeem yourself here by doing one thing.
I thought she was gonna say something, and they were gonna set a trap for him. Like somehow she got back to the castle faster than him to kind of warn them of what's approaching, and they were going to set up a trap for him.
Well, I
because she says,
believe
she's like, just a minute.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is it.
so. I wonder if we're going to see what happens in the next episode. Like if Rhaenyra is trying to investigate how it happened, if maybe she found Sir Eric with the E first to tell him that I saw your brother, and that he went to go rush to Rhaenyra. That's my thought, but it happens different in the book. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in the book they see each other.
Yeah, they just walk into.
They just walk into each other, and I thought that's like they were like they could have. I mean, they like dodged it a few different times when like he's like sneaking through,
Yeah,
and even like Eric with the E is like he like turns around, he's like, what was that?
Oh,
like
by the way, that whole sequence was getting real confusing when
Austin
they're
was like, hey, who's who? And I'm like,
yeah, when they're pacing, which also led me to fear that they were gonna do they're getting captured, and the trope of I don't know which one's which, and I was like, oh, please don't do this in a Game of Thrones, like the evil clone thing. I don't know which one to shoot.
I was suspecting them to do the Game of Thrones thing where the good one actually dies, and then the bad one tries to kill her, and then they end up killing him. But
Yeah, it was
I like how
very
they
weird
did it.
for him to kill himself.
I would say he did that because he just killed his brother.
Yeah,
That's what I
That's
thought.
what I
like,
took it.
and failed to protect her.
Well,
as well, but
it was
maybe.
interesting to me because I thought when initially one of them fell on the floor was the Team Black Sir Eric, who then came back up and got stabbed and killed by his brother. So then Team Green was the one that survived. So I'm with Sammy.
That's
It was
what
very confusing. You had to look for the leg wound, which
They'll let the knee wound.
they could have just
I don't think-
let him have his helmet on. Like
Yeah.
it would have been much easier to tell. They wouldn't have been like, oh, Sir Eric, why is your helmet on? It was like it wouldn't be. Guys walking around in a suit of armor all the time.
Yeah,
I think it's because he saw his brother without the helmet on. He's like, oh, let me try to blend in more.
yeah.
but that's where the change in the from the pages to the show just I didn't think translated that well. Like what I suspected was going to happen again was the way it was foretold in the book. Like they're going to see each other, and it's like this, like down the hallway, they see each other, almost like a bit of a Obi-Wan and Vader. Like they see each other, like no one else is there except for them, and they're like, "Oh shit, we're doing this right now. You're caught, so I know what your deal is here. I have to stop you, and if I have to kill you, I will do it to protect Rhaenyra." But at the same time, like in the book, there's a crowd that gathers at one point because they hear the clanging, and they don't know who is who, but they both impale each other at the same time. So there's none of this like, forgive me, my queen, and like has to like kill himself. Like that doesn't happen in the book. So it's just like I don't like that they did that. I think it was a bit of a disservice to the book characters, in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, I can
I
see that.
disagree.
I thought they both
I
stabbed
enjoyed
each
it.
other.
I like the way that they did it, the way that they had them both fighting, and then, he kills his brother. He tells his brother he loves him already, and he's like, he didn't want to do that, so he feels like he just hurt his honor and somebody he's loved his entire life. He just killed him. So I like the way that they did it. Had them both fighting each other like that. I do wish though that the good one died first, and then and then the bad one tries to kill him, and then he dies.
But you're Team Green. Who's the good one? Who's the bad one?
Well, I'm saying from a story perspective. I'm not talking about alliances here. I'm just talking about the way that it goes in the story. It would have been better for the other honorable one to die first.
Also,
But
you'd
it's
think
still
if
not
like
good.
you'd think if your twin showed up, there might be might be this moment where they can't tell who's who. So it's like I would have just like kind of cut my beard off a little bit more, so you could see like I've got the shorter beard, and like so it's me
Mhm.
now. Like, give some sort of mark, like, I don't know, just something like that. So
maybe
Lauren
during
could have
the
jumped in.
tussle, one of them loses their cape.
Right. But then
You know,
someone could have someone could have done the same thing. I mean, maybe, but yeah, just I don't know, something.
Yeah, but something more identifying, because like
Cut my ponytail off.
especially during that pacing scene in the hallway, I was going like, I don't even know who I'm following anymore. And once the one was hiding behind the pillar, I was like, okay, they have to spot each other here, because if they go into the room that Rhaenyra's in, like, this is just going to turn into a visual mess, because they look the same, and it did. It was just like, and I still liked it. It was cool, but I was just going like, this is it. I'm having a hard time differentiating these two characters now. It's going to be even worse in the battle scene unless there's something going on that makes them visually
I
distinct
would
from
say
one another.
that was the point. They don't want you to know exactly who's who.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well,
For sure. I'm just saying I didn't like it.
Yeah, I remember leaning over to Nick and I'm like, who's who? Like, I get why they're doing this, but I don't like it. Like, I need to know who's who.
Yeah, it keeps the audience and the characters guessing, because even Rhaenyra's like, which one is winning? I don't know.
I mean, I love that entire scene.
Ooh, that scene where he grabs his leg wound. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
ooh,
you can hear it.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a question for the panel: do you think Kristen was responsible for the twins fight scene?
Well, he would have to be.
I think so, because he was talking that shit on his brother. It's like, well, your brother did this. Like, where's your honor lie? You can earn it now by doing
that projection.
Yeah, I mean, for Christian, it's a win-win, because if he succeeds in killing Rhaenyra, it's his idea. If Eric dies, he gets rid of a competitor. So
he also fuels the fire too. So now Rhaenyra knows that Alicent, or the fake king, has now sent an assassin to try and kill her. So it just, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's war, but now they're done kind of sending assassins in. So what's next? It's based on armies and dragons. So like, we're getting all the small stuff out of the way, and that should bring in the excitement in the CGI. But I do think Kristen's responsible.
Everybody just wants to see those fights.
Yeah.
Kaida, do you gotta jump off?
Yeah. The old
All right,
ladies
plug
waiting
yourself,
for me.
my guy.
Yeah, I'm Kaida, Kalutu Short. Follow me on Twitter. I'm more active over there. I will start streaming here shortly. We're doing these streams. I'm gonna be having another weekly stream coming up soon. Most likely, I'm still trying to set that up with some other individuals. We'll see how that goes. And when I stop being complacent, I'll upload some more YouTube videos. So follow me on YouTube as well.
Everybody's links is in the description below for everybody, so please go follow these amazing creators. I will be adding Blue Collar's information too after the stream, so please go and follow everybody. They're awesome on YouTube and Twitter, Apple Podcasts, everything. So have a good night, Kato. See you next week.
Yes, I will be here next week.
Later, Kaida.
Y'all have
Chat
a
you
great
soon.
one.
Take it easy, buddy.
All right.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, now that we got Team Green out of here.
I'm just kidding.
I can breathe.
This scene is interesting to me because this is where Alicent asks that she has to confess, right? And he's like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I already know. That's what I portrayed it as. I mean, he's the hand of the king. He knows what's going on in and out. I'm sure he knows his.
That's the way I took it too. It's like you think it's a secret. We all freaking know. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just like, you're my daughter. I love you no matter what. You don't have to say it. Yeah, everybody knows it's the worst kept secret in King's Landing.
And technically, I'm like, I don't feel sorry for him in this scene because, yes, okay, it's your daughter, but you also pushed your 14-year-old daughter onto a old elderly man. So, like, it's weird. And told her to wear her mother's dresses. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, but that's also, I'm not defending it, but at the time, that's how the game is played. So, I mean,
I know.
you can't fault him for that. Is it a creepy thing to do? Yeah, by today's standards, it's a super creepy thing to do. but it's also for the betterment of his house and for the safety of his daughter. I mean, you know, the queen is going to be put in a lot less sketchy positions than, you know, just the lord or, you know, the mistress of any other household. She's the king's wife. So I mean, I could understand why he wants to do that, and it might be misguided, but yes, all the things that he put into motion are coming to bite him in the ass. And so it does feel justified, but like you do see that he's starting to regret it a little bit. And it's good writing. It's intriguing. So as much as I do
Yeah.
feel bad for Otto here, I kind of don't, you know,
Yeah.
for everything you just said, Nadia.
You reap what you sow.
This is a
Mhm.
great scene too, with him crying.
Yeah.
You get to
I love
this.
really feel the emotions through this. I think this is superb acting as well in this episode.
Yeah, man.
Well-
I'm really excited now to see more of Aegon, because it seems like this is his first adult thing that's happened to him. He was made king, but now his king, or I'm sorry, his son is now dead, and gruesomely too. And everybody seems to know who does it. And it's like he's now having to deal with this as kind of a young adult in a really tough situation. So I'm really excited to see more of how he reacts to this whole thing.
Yeah, because
I-
this whole episode, you notice he never has time to grieve. He's too busy raging and getting pissed off. He finally gets to sit down. The night's over. Everything's done. I'm sitting down. Now it's like really hitting me where my 4-year-old just died. And wow, okay.
I think this also plays to what I was saying earlier about Alicent not really having a love for her two sons, because she doesn't go to him. She just leaves. She just
Nah.
leaves him in his grief instead of actually that motherly instinct of going to him, comforting him. Like, I understand this is the king, but this is your son, which I think plays back to the fact that I said, you know, she had children as a child, so that motherly instinct didn't really kick in for her.
Like I said, I would have liked to see Helena there.
Yeah.
Comforting him
The two of
some
them.
degree. You know, just if that's what you're trying to show what the relationship is, that's where I went back earlier. I don't know what they're trying to convey with the relationship between them two, and I'm sure you know, it wasn't explained in the book. It's a non-factor. Or maybe you're just trying to show that he does feel isolated here, that he is a kid who's over his head, you know, like it's weird. I just don't like the way that they're portraying that character, because they're not giving us anything with that. But he's acting his ass off and he's doing a great job. But I just think if you're trying to give that actress, I think her name's what, Faya Sabin, she really hasn't had a chance to really use those acting muscles, and she did just have something incredibly traumatizing happen to her. I was like, at least show that. And maybe if you showed him crying on her shoulder and her patting like his head, it would show that she's just more of a stoic and not like a plank of wood, you know. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree, and I think they missed out on a great opportunity to have his wife and sister there, but also I think it would have been a very wholesome moment for them as a family. Just like Shield Ball said, like he's crying in solitude because it's like that's like the part of the moment that nothing else has to be going on. It's nighttime, people are going to sleep, like it all kind of catches up to him, and it just he has to let it out.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been very wholesome to see his sister wife there and his mother come in and just like kind of like take them both under her wings and just console them as a family. Like you just experienced like a tragic moment. And I mean, I don't know if he needs to cry in peace. I think that this family is so out of touch with emotion and love that that's their problem. They have none of it, so they don't understand how to act or interact with one another. Like it's so awkward, and that's why Team Black is better. I jest, but I don't know. Like I think, and again, knowing kind of what happens in the book, like it just doesn't bode well for him because he's not talking to anyone. Whereas
Well, he already
Aemon,
called out for his mother earlier, too.
and she didn't really avail herself to him. And even when she had the moment to be there for him, it's just like Heresia said, she walks away. She just left him there. Like, what kind of mother leaves her son crying in a room? Like do you like? I agree. I don't know if she really truly loves her son because she degrades him multiple times in the first season. You know, so
with both of them, and the only time with Helena in earlier here, she's like, okay, the Jaehaerys is dead, that's fine, but what they've done to my daughter, and it seems like she's the only one she's really concerned to a certain extent. I still think Alicent's very selfish in the series.
Yes,
very much all
Yeah,
about
that's
herself
true.
and her repentant and all this stuff.
yeah,
I agree
Blacks
with
do
that.
have a better family dynamic too. I agree.
Yeah, well, because Alicent, I mean, she had her kids out of obligation. It was an order. It's just a sense of duty. There's no love, but even Alicent herself, she's a product of like her shitty father. It's just this endless cycle. It's an Otto. You treat like she feels the same way as her kids feel because it's just the cycle repeating itself.
And
There he is.
here he is, our favorite. Just sitting on the bed, like, hey, I'm hand of the king now. Like, we can bone. It's all right. Let's see.
Is this the worst scene in the whole episode?
I think so.
Might be.
Yeah.
Again, this is a weird way to end the episode, I feel.
Yeah.
Slap him a couple of times and then
bam, foreplay.
Which I don't know. I've been happily married for years.
Is that how it goes?
I would not have taken that as, pushing me out of here, slaps me 3 times. Obviously, she's interested.
She wants to bang tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, like
I mean, their relationship is very fucked up anyway. So it makes sense to their characters. Like there's a lot of toxic relationships that are like that.
I guess.
Yeah.
I
no comment.
Just grabbing someone by the neck and then pushing them up against the wall.
My husband's wonderful.
I was like, I don't think. I just don't see that as a viable, tactic.
Approach.
Who has she had beforehand? An old grandpa aged dude. A missionary, no passion, just obligation, just to be there as the queen. And finally, she has somebody who is her age range, handsome to an extent, if you think so, and passionate, and she's already bared her children. She doesn't have to worry about bearing more heirs. So, I get it, but I feel like you could have chosen someone better, Alicent, like somebody a little bit better. So who won this round? For our poll, Kristen Cole won. He's a little bitch at 44% out of 36 votes.
I'm totally okay with that.
Tim Black in a second. All right.
I figure we'll go around, give our final thoughts where it's going to go, and then plug yourself all in 3. How's that sound? That way we can get out of here. I know you guys are on East Coast time. So, Blue Collar, we'll start with you. What you thought of the episode, where you think it's going, and who are you?
Yeah, see, I definitely understand it's a slower episode. It's taking some time to build up, but I do like the scene between Otto and Aegon, just the way Otto just dismantled Aegon just with words. And he hit him everywhere that he should. It does need some time to pick up. But yeah, I'll be on Lance's channel tonight. Our buddy Outcast Creatives, Nadia, you know him. He's doing House of the Dragon, but he's over in the UK. He gets it on different time zones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing that tonight. And then pretty much just do random movie reviews. So
yes,
all I can say.
We'll follow. Nick and Austin, I guess we'll go with Nick first.
Yeah. So Austin and I have a podcast called The Plot Strikes Back. Check us out on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We release weekly episodes on our favorite movies, both new and old, and TV shows as well. And we obviously have this lovely panel here that we're doing every Sunday night. No other live streams at the moment, but maybe in some discussions for the future. And if anyone ever wants to be a guest on our podcast, just hit us up. We love talking about movies and TV shows in a very chill manner. So
What did you think of the episode, and where do you think it's going?
Yeah. Did we give ratings, like numbers yet? I don't
We
think
didn't give
did, right?
ratings yet.
Not
No.
yet.
Well, I kind of have an idea where it's going, but I do believe it's going to pick up going into episode 3. Overall, better episode than episode 1. Favorite parts were with Damon and Rhaenyra, and Otto giving the business to his shitty grandson.
Very cool. I'm so sorry. Blue Collar, what did you want to rate the episode out of?
I don't know.
You could do 5.
I'll just say
or
I'll
whatever.
say like a 7 out of 10. I mean, it does have some pacing issues. I mean, yeah, I do want to see some more action, but I still liked it because like Nick was saying, the scenes with Damon and Rhaenyra were good, but also said the way Otto. I love that scene with Otto and Aegon, just finally putting his kid in check, and he's really being the hand of the king. Not as good as Tywin, but very like Sammy would say, almost Tywin adjacent. There's only one Tywin. There's only one what's the actor's name? I can't think of his name.
I can't think of his name either, but
Oh my
yeah.
God. Everyone knows
Yeah.
Tywin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only one him.
What about you, Nick? Just so, and then I'll move to.
I'm trying to remember what I gave episode 1, so I can't say that this was a better episode to me and then give a lower rating. I want to say I said the episode 1 was like a 78, maybe. So like maybe this episode is like maybe a 79. So I'll just say that.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
right. Percentage.
Yeah, percentage or like 7.9 out of 10, something like that, right? We'll throw the decimal point in there.
Austin, your thoughts, your rating, and where can people find you?
Yeah, well, just to piggyback on Nick, we're on Apple Podcast, and we are I think we're pretty active on Twitter. If anyone is interested, please just DM us. Let us know if you would love to be on. We just hit record and talk about movies. So we love it. But what I thought about the episode is I kind of mentioned everything, but one thing I may have forgot to mention was I did love the scene between Rhaenyra and Damon. I thought that scene was shot really, really good. And the acting was amazing. Loved Aegon's acting in it. And like I said, I'm very excited because I don't really know what to expect. I do currently have the book bookmarked on the page where this kind of starts. So I'm toying with doing that, but very excited about that. Somehow hate Sir Christian more. Can't stand it.
I think we all do.
And I did like this one a lot better than the first one. I do want to give this like an 84 and 85%.
Okay.
But I am hoping it does just start blowing the top off by episode 3, at least halfway. Because there's only eight episodes, right?
8 episodes, yeah.
They got to get into it. So, but 85% is what I give it.
Cool. And last but not least, Sammy.
Hi, I'm Sammy 3Pete. You can find me on Twitter at Sammy 3Pete. You can find me on YouTube on Sammy 3Pete. I just put out my first video last week. But I'm usually a panelist on a bunch of different streams. You can find me at Diabolical Souls animation block, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday every single week. This week I'll be on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel for Triple M. We'll be talking about the Karate Kid, and after that, I don't know. Just turn around. I'll be on a stream somewhere. But
Yep.
it's this one. I did like it. I think the quality of it is a better episode, but I think I gave the last one a 7.5. I'm going to give this one a 7.5 again, simply just because like I thought we were really going to like kick it up a notch here. I didn't lose interest, but it was like, all right, like I said, all the players are on the board. Everybody's on the dance floor. Let's boogie. I didn't get any boogie. So I'm not going to rate it higher. I know that we have more information about certain characters and more in-depth looks at what certain people's motivations might be, but like, let's pick up the pace a little bit. And as far as where I think the show's going, I as I said, I haven't read the books. I don't plan on reading the books until after the show is done, so I don't get any expectations of certain characters and their actions, and I don't want to spoil the ending if that's what they decide to go with. But honestly, I kind of don't want either of these people to get on the Iron Throne. I think both of them have their faults, and one is too inactive and the other one's too brash. A good king that does not make. So I'm hoping someone else might get into the fray here, but who knows?
And what do you rate it?
I said I gave the last episode a 7.5. I'll give this one a 7.5 again. Like there wasn't enough to make me go, this episode was worse. It was like, okay, it's just more explanation. It was by no means boring, but like let's pick up the pace. Give me an 8. I'm waiting for that 8.
I agree.
As myself, I probably give this a 6 out of 10. It had some really good moments, but it didn't shine for me. I don't even know if I liked the first episode more. I'll have to go back and see what I rated it. I don't know where the show is going because I have not read the book, but I'm hoping for more bloodshed and dragon fighting. I would like to see more battles happening. As for myself, you can find me on Twitter as Nerd Dollface. I have another YouTube channel that's horror driven, all about horror stuff, where I drop horror news called Horror with Nads, and I'm on a bunch of streams. Just follow me on Twitter. I post where I am all the time. Thank you to my panel for joining today. I know I'm keeping you guys up a little bit later. Thank you to everybody in the chat. It was so awesome to see everybody. And until next time, hope everybody have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Damn.
Good night,
Cheers.
guys.